Hello. Welcome. Welcome. Here we go. It's time. It's time. And then I'm going to take this, and then I'm going to pin this. Okay. I gotta turn off my thing that puts a link in the chat for Seven Deadly Sins Origin, because that is over. Turn that off. There we go. Looky down. Here we go. Okay, yeah, I really wanted to continue more of this because I meant to play more of it in previous weeks and didn't get to, so I wanted to kind of just go crazy on it today, yesterday and today. Well, let me close a few things. Let me close a few things here. There we go. I don't know why it wouldn't let me raid. Would launching a second instance of OBS with shift-click help? Oh, no, yeah, you can't, like, have one running streaming and then have another one also streaming to another channel. It doesn't function properly. I was going to look into, there are other products that you can stream from. So if you, like, restream and those sorts of things, right? Where you can take those and you stream to one of their servers, and then their server sends your stream to your stream, but then it allows it to break it out. So your broadcast goes to one of their servers, and then their server sends it to your YouTube and your Twitch and your Kicker, like whatever things you set up, right? So that you can multi-stream. And I think maybe with one of those, I might be able to have multiple Twitch channels on it, so I could seamlessly switch, maybe? That's what I was thinking of looking at. Mouse does that? Yeah, she does. There are a few people who do that, and they don't all use it for multi-streaming. There are other reasons why you can stream from one of those programs, or stream to one of those programs that sends it to one of their servers, and it does do good stuff. I think a big one is for drops. So if you're having your stream drop a lot, and it keeps cutting your VOD in half or whatever, you can set those up and tell it to hold your stream for a full 2 minutes if the stream goes down. Or 5 minutes, or until I say otherwise, or whatever. So people who are IRL streaming always do that. So when it says like, oh, stream will be back soon, or whatever, and then it comes back and the person's IRL streaming, it's because they're using one of those services that sort of just holds it down, holds the fort down. Which is great. So I was thinking about that. I was also thinking about that in the future. If NoPixel ever continues to do the thing for me where in the future I want to play it when 5 is out, but I don't want to play nothing but that. But one of the issues I had before was when I would go and close 5M on my computer, it would stall everything and it would cut my VOD in half. It would end my stream entirely a lot of the time. And I'd have to start up again, which just doesn't work out well. So, I was thinking in the future of maybe getting myself streaming on one of those services. If that continues to be an issue, though they won't be on 5M anymore, I don't think. Maybe they will, but I highly doubt it. Maybe that would let me not have that issue. And it could hold it down. That's what I'm thinking, but we'll see. Oh, GG, it is. I'm a bunch of hours into this game. It's really, really good so far. I actually super highly recommend. Haven't tried the new PC yet? No, I actually haven't. I did open 5M and I logged in, but I didn't like hop onto one of my characters. I just made sure that I could get to my character select. But yeah, I like just got it set up. It's not the hardest to set up, but it's a little annoying, and I had so much shit to do, so I just didn't worry about it. That's why I haven't been on RP for a bit, but I was gonna start hopping back on because I do miss it. I just want to not feel obligated to play. You know, and I'm just so busy. Lucky, can you stop? I'm actually gonna close the door on you if you can't. Stop doing that. He's just trying to get me to feed him earlier than I'm supposed to. Anyway. Yeah. Question about the sponsor link. Does it help if we sign up or pre-register? I believe so, yes. Not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure. I could try to check in on that, but usually just clicking is very helpful. Anyway, Esoteric Ebb. We're here to continue this game. This game's been good so far. Yesterday we went through and we finished day 1 and we're a bit into day 2 now. Out of 5, I think. And, I'm trying so hard to get this guy a girlfriend. Oh my god, I really want to get a girlfriend in this game. Just one date. And so far, every charisma check has failed horrifically. Not only do we not really have high charisma, we just have, I think, 10 plus items. This guy also just stinks at talking to girls. So, it's been rough. But we're gonna do our best. We're gonna do our damn best. Oh, we're still missing one here. I don't know who we're missing there. Okay, we need to figure out what's going on with the tea shop that blew up. That is still our main quest. Oh yeah, we were trying to raise up the orc woman. Okay. So. We went through some things. There's some different political parties and etc. One of them is the Asgallians, who are kind of... They're the green movement, okay? And they're the workers' party kind of thing. Oh, you're right. I gotta change the chat. So they're cool. They're nice. They seem like very good people morally. But they're kind of operating a little illegally. So they're printing papers that you're not allowed to print and distribute. They're illegally distributing their newspaper, which the city doesn't allow you to do it without a license, so that they can suppress people, which stinks. However, it is still the law and we uphold it, right? That's also the other way to look at it. So they are doing that. So I do have the option of going to this lady who's one of the free striders, which is more like the libertarians of the place. And I can report to her that I found their printing press and she can go, like, get their place raided or something. I don't know. I haven't done that yet. I could also just get them what they need and help the Asgallians. I don't know. So far, politically, I'm on the you should make me God King route. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, Vera gave me a job, so this was one of the things I was thinking of starting out doing. Hand out AFAs to local entrepreneurs. It's like a contract they can sign. We have to find Frank, son of Frank, down in the below somewhere. Have to find the owner of the tea shop. I have to talk to a tier more. My spell book is getting repaired. Oh, and we figured out that the guy whose house we woke up in a weird place at the beginning of the game. We figured out what's up with him. But that's also really scary, and if we confront that, we could just die for it, so... Try to figure out what's going on there, because he might be a little too powerful. Okay, and one way to get a date is with Moongore. If we can avenge her by chasing down the man in yellow and avenging her honor, then she may like us. Maybe. We're also liking Vera right now. We're liking all of them. Actually, I don't think we care. Any woman will do. Any woman will do. I just want him to have any date. Any date at all. Okay, there's a lot of ways we could go. What is this? Goods hatch. Huh? You approach the goods hatch. This is a very small goods hatch. The whole building appears to have been repurposed into a warehouse. Otherwise, making it this tiny would have been very silly. Don't think the freeze chargers will be too happy with someone sneaking in through the roof. The goblin squats down and grabs the rusty hanglock. Damn, look at this rusty thing. They really don't value security around here. I have an esoteric lockpick. Pick the lock. With advantage and everything. There's no way we could have not gotten that. With just a bit of finesse, the lock cracks open. Quite literally. This rusty piece of shit won't ever close again. Here we go. Great job. Opens the hatch. As you peek inside, you see a rope attached to the wood, tumbling down into the open space below. Sweet. Then we can actually climb back up. Didn't think of that. Let's see how well this rope holds up. Cool. Yeah, let's sneak in. They're not gonna like this if they find me. Several potion boxes are marked with a tiny bird symbol. These potions look esoteric. Ooh, potion of healing. Nice. Very nice. Whoops, I pressed my questing tree. It's a bunch of coins. Stealing everything. A helm in sand. Oh! +2 dex, -2 strength. Salet. You pick up the polished Salet helm, sand flowing from its orifices. Before you remove it from the box entirely... Ah, shit. You see something shift in the sand in the crate. Dodge the sand. You noticed. You're a noticer. Advantage? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. In a heartbeat, or faster, you pull back your gloved hands. You watch as the sand attempts to rush forward. The shape of it like a slithering esoteric creature, and just barely graze you before slinking back into the box. Then the sand goes still once more. Looks at it. Nice job. Yeah, this sand isn't really sand. Good job getting that helmet, though. It looks really nice. Snell rushes forward with the lid in hand. He shuts it with a satisfying thud. Good gods. I hate mosquito sand. Mosquito what? It's... These eyes. Doesn't matter. Just don't touch it anymore, okay? Okay, I'll leave this thing alone now. Be happy about your new helmet. I want to see what it looks like. I don't want the -2 strength, but... Oh my god. Oh, it looks so stupid. I like it. I like this one though because I wanted the charisma. And I don't mind the dex going down because our dex is already pretty good. HWBT, AR Trade Co, AHPLC. So many acronyms. Crate with a rhythmic thumping noise coming from inside. Hold on. Hold on, this gives us -2 dex. Let's put this on just for this. A nat 1 when we beheld it. Yikes. Well, just looks like a crate to me. Must be nothing. Steals on the apples. Tiny bikes. Can I take a hammer? Simple hammer gives advantage in situations where you might just need a little constitution. Like over this? It does. This gives me 1 strength and 1 int though. I do want this. The pickaxe of secrets. It is interesting though. Wait. Tower key gives me +1 strength if I just equip it. Interesting. Didn't know I could. Door to the port. Expensive potion sits on the top shelf. You couldn't possibly reach that high. Damn. Probably mage hand it, but I don't have mage hand. Box of 8 cartridges. I needed these. On the top box, you see the words Cauldridge R Special Cartridge Quillwells. Bingo. Yes, this is the ink Modissa asked for. Open the box. Inside, you see a tightly stacked series of iron cartridges, each marked with a series of numbers. More importantly, there are 3 different colors of ink. Uh-oh. Red, yellow, and green Quillwell variants. Go with yellow, she'll hate it. If there was black, that would be the logical choice. However, since this shipment clearly does not contain any black ink, go with the green one. It makes the most logical sense, being that's Gallus' colors. Green. Go with green. Wait, which one did she want? She did not specify. Logically, she would want black, but this crate seems to only contain color ink. So this is probably the reason why her vendor didn't sell her the stuff, right? They didn't have any black ink, just color. Maybe it doesn't matter which one? Of course it matters. Color is very important in the world of typography. Meow. Will the color ink turn the paper into that color? Mixed with their regular ink, it would turn the text into a faint color variety. It'd be quite strange, but also unique. I kind of want to piss her off and grab the wrong one. It's not even the wrong one, it's just a different one. I have the green in hand. I mean, she said she wanted ink. People couldn't read yellow, though they could read red. Doing it. These are heavy. The rigid metal feels cold to the touch. You hear something sloshing around inside. Huh. Despite placing the cartridge in my pouch of holding, I don't quite feel like I've actually looted it. Ignore that. That's just your innate feeling that this quest item isn't that important. Right. Of course. I'm engaging with it. I'm doing it. You approach one of the many large crates in the warehouse. Why is there a rhythmic thumping noise here? It's coming from this box. Look at the crate. You spot a label. It says AR Ankig Exoskeleton Export. Snell, you hear that noise? I do. He points at the side of the crate. He shows you a strange expression. The goblin assumes you understand his subtle facial cues, clearly overestimating your social ability. It's a face that says, "Be careful, I think we got something here." Knock on the crate. As you do, the drumming noise stops. Then, after a short break, it starts up again. Your companion gives you a tired shrug. Come on. Hello? After you speak, the drumming noise stops. Then, after a short break, it starts up again. Snell sighs deeply. Open the crate. Ooh. With a tight grip, you press hard. It's difficult. Even the goblin is straining to put his measly body weight into it. But, rip open the side of the crate. A Birdman. Is this a random Birdman? Or the tea shop owner? No, tea shop owner was black and white, wasn't he? Oh my god, it is Drummer! I can explain. Dunk, dunk. You watch the wingless, crow-looking creature scramble to compose himself. Drummer. The Birdman lets out a strange throat noise that makes a series of nervous chuckles. He's inside of a shipping crate marked for export. He's clearly trying to flee the law. Maybe he has a good reason to escape. Is the fellow in danger? You would have done the same in his shoes, hopefully. Explain it quickly. Oh, Dunk. I think every dunk is him going like that. Yes. I'm just inspecting the warehouse wares. Huh. What's that sound? What? That. I'm not... Catch him in the line. Let's ask him for a few things. So you're inspecting wares, are you? Yes. I'm a local... He stops, shifting his tone deeper. Local entrepreneur. He's trying to assert himself by sounding like a tough guy. The AR, they're my supplier for tea and sometimes coffee. Oh. And sometimes coffee. That deep voice, it's making you falter. Don't mess with him. Oh. Coffee. Isn't that illegal? It's not. Difficult to get, but not illegal. So you're inspecting goods inside of a crate, inside of a sealed warehouse. Yes? What, you don't believe him? Does the trade company know about you being here? Bird hums like a bird and just nods. Is he pretending to not hear you? I said, do the Free Striders know about your presence, good sir? Thunk. They, of course. What kind of goods are we talking about here? He grabs a scale of an exoskeleton from the crate. I have a great plan. I'm planning on renovating my shop with these. Protection. Renovating with that chitin. Uh-huh, he says, sounding like a young, naive kid. Nuh-uh. He's lying. Why is your voice so weird? My cats are fighting behind me. I am... Yobu. Yobu Kodori! The voice leans... Leans? The voice leaves the bird's throat like a drum on fire. Are you mocking me? No, the bird says and makes a cross with his non-winged arms. Never. Yobu, we've no voice of our own. You know. Like, you know. Sounds like esoteric bullshit. Yes, a folk curse. Okay, we know. We get him. We understand him. Terrible stuff. I have a feeling I shouldn't cast Charm Person. Because Charm Person only makes him treat you like a friend. And this bird does not treat his friends with the truth. Sadly, you do not have time to go prepare it. Are you aware that your tea shop has exploded? What? He knows. The bird mimics the sound of a young and shocked man. Bad sound to pick. He sounds almost sarcastic. What a horrible and... shocking revelation. He's struggling to put together cohesive sentences. It's like his nervous tick when his sentences get twisted like that. You didn't hear the explosion? Sorry? He holds up a claw to the side of his head. Oh no. He's got a hearing problem. How sad. This bird fuck is clearly messing with you. Either that or he's the most awful compulsive liar you've ever met. You see your companion rub his eyes. Stop messing around. This is serious. Yes, I understand. Dunk. You've been down here for how long exactly? I am inspecting many wares. Yeah, these types of mimic birds are known for being able to just hide in a hole for a very, very long time. You're pretty bad at your job, Mr. Drummer. Sorry for being pretty bad at inspection. I try my best. Do you have any enemies, Mr. Drummer? No. Everyone has... People tend to dig me, you know? Sure. Does this bird ever say anything true? He's genuinely slippery. One greased up magpie motherfucker. Tell me what happened on that morning, when it blew up. Oh, it was all normal. Empty tea shop all morning. I had business on Water Lane. Over noon. Been busy since then. This is big shock. Well, yeah, you know. Awful news. I didn't even had no insurance, sadly. I like this. So he's cobbling his words together based off of stuff he's heard. He can only mimic, and he can't speak normally in a normal voice, like his own voice. So he can only take bits and pieces of things other people have said and put it together. Yeah, like a parrot. That's for the best. Otherwise, I'd say you blew it up yourself. You hear the bird let out a hearty laugh. If he had a voice of his own, it'd be a nervous laugh. No worries. I'll get back on my feet. Always do. I'll just go back to inspection. And you know where to find me. That's what this is. When they're writing it like this, they're writing something suddenly bolded for him. He's doing a deep voice. That is someone else's voice. And when it's italicized, that's also another voice that is not the one that he's usually using. So he's putting things together, but sometimes he's only heard that word in that other voice, so that's why he would say it like that. Another D&D nod. Yeah. What are you voting in the election? W heal. Oh, same. I vote for the same party as you. Which is... You sound like that? Oh, gods. Oh, I can't say myself on this one. Maybe this counts as it. Look at me. Do I look like someone who needs a party? Smirk. The birdman looks you up and down. No? I'm the only one who can rule this city. As a wizard, god, king, cleric. Oh. Okay. You vote for yourself? Yep. Good. Great choice, my man. You get a feeling he probably uses that sound every time someone tries to talk politics with him at the tea shop. Great choice, my man. What a genius. You should learn from him. Ask my inner voices. So should I threaten this guy or something else? A push is all he needs. Then he will spill the truth. Sure talks a lot for someone without a voice, but he sucks at lying. The bird's pretty quick. You gotta catch up if you want to find a way to twist reality out of him. Beware. Failure here will mean debasing yourself. I have +4 for Dex, so I should do this. I'll try to catch him in the lie. Please roll well. Here we go. Set a trap and let the bird guy fall into it. So, tell me more about this tea shop of yours. Tea shop? Oh, yes. I'm an entrepreneur, you see. Now hit him with the... Slam your fist into the side of the crate. You don't even like tea, do you? The bird looks visibly distraught at your accusation. You have... What? It's not... Thunk. Wait, this isn't a trap. This is just silly. Fraud! Pointed the birdman. The bird sputters around for a moment. Then he pauses and scratches his beak. I don't have to enjoy tea. I serve tea. Look. That's true, cleric. What do you have to say in your defense? The goblin is mocking you. Understandable. Look, I don't care about your bullshit. Just tell me your side and we'll be out of your hair. Or feathers. The birdman observes you in silence. Then he slowly nods. You seem to have inadvertently given him room to trust you. He will speak now, but will it be the full truth? He glances at Snell. They're after me. Who is? The Freestriders. And HWBT. What, because of some missed rent? And why exactly? He looks distraught again. They forced me. They made me. I didn't have a choice. Blackmail. Knife to my throat. I was trapped. They had me by the balls. You're hiding from the Freestriders inside of a Freestrider-operated warehouse? They are scary, but not very bright. The goblin chuckles. Snell, the HWBT didn't know about the smuggling stuff, right? Not to my knowledge, no. This sounds entirely like a Freestrider extension. Are you afraid of the HWBT? They will give me punished. If they find out my little secret, possibly. The old lady won't take kindly to having a smuggling operation going on right under her nose. Are the Free Striders connected with this? They set it up. They set me up. I had access to the secret tunnel under the temple. The key. They forced me. I had to. What's this got to do with the explosion? Listen, I only run away to save myself. When T-Shop exploded, You knew beforehand that it was going to explode? No. I was in the warehouse, here, inspection. I hear Free Striders talking about it upstairs. So I hide. In here, waiting for a boat. To get away from this bloody mess. I feel like if you're voice acting this properly, you'd have to have 5, 6 distinct voices. You have a main one that he uses a lot. You have one that comes after hyphens. You have the italicized one. You have the bolded one. You have that party, the one that was shaking. I feel like there's like one more. It's about 6 voices. So what's the protocol now? He whispers back, protocol? If he's trying to leave the city, taking his sit reg would be good start. City registration? Citizens registry. I'm sure the old lady would love to have a word with him. What's your plan now, Birdman? I will leave. Thunk. I have business in Reeds. Big business. But if you leave now, you won't be able to vote in the election. Yes, that is regretfully. Thunk. The bird stares at you, looking uncomfortable. And you're sure you've told me everything you can? Yes, please. I'm in trouble, but I did nothing wrong. The goblin scoffs. Let me see your papers, citizen. The bird fiddles with his satchel. A worn piece of paper. His claw holds it forth. Citizen's registry. Grab it. As you hold it up to your helmet, the bird makes that rhythmic thumping noise a few more times. Inspect the papers. You turn it over in your hands. The paper's thick. It says drummer, Imling. Born 112 PE. Bet he picked 02 as his birth year just to avoid it looking too fake. Do I take pity on him and hand him the papers, or just say, I'll keep these, don't leave the city? So, I don't have beef with this guy. I'm just trying to figure out what happened. So handing the papers back, I don't have trouble. All right, go. But also I want information, so keeping the papers might be good so that I can ask him stuff. I think he has more info. I don't think he has. He does. He hasn't said who. He said, like, kind of maybe the Free Striders were after him. And then he said, it's because I had access to the tunnel. But he didn't say what he saw in there, what the significance is, or any of that. So I do think he has more. I absolutely do think he does. He says, they set it up. They set me up. I had access to the secret tunnel under the temple. They forced me. I had to. I ran away to save myself. Like, he's telling us what happened, but not why or who or how. I think we can find that out in other ways. So I kind of want to hand the papers back to him. I don't really want to... I don't want this character to be too much of a snitch. Well, we do have high dex, though. I'm just thinking through. I'm thinking through what would make sense for the way I'm playing the character right now. I'm looking for the man in yellow, really. And I think we have reason to believe he's telling us the truth. That he didn't do it. But he's running kind of for other reasons. So, you know what? I'll hand the papers back. Oh, thank you. He nervously glances toward the exit. Should I contain this guy? It would take time to do so. He does not deserve it. Annoying. Boring. Look to Snell. He just shrugs. You can go. Oh, thank you. The voice sounds grateful. Since you are so kind. He hands you another note from his satchel. See, this is what I was going for. I was going for the play of being nice to him a little bit, and maybe he'll understand. Like, if I'm not hostile, maybe he can help me a little more. Instead of taking the papers and forcing him to help me, right? He hands you another note from his satchel. There's a series of numbers on it. Hidden safe in my office. That is combination. Feel free to take all the shit you want. The contents. Contents. I will not return to this establishment. Thank you for your service. The Birdman starts to shuffle towards the stairs. Good luck out there, Mr. Drummer. Without stopping, you hear him mutter out in a shrill voice. You too, Cleric. As the Birdman leaves the warehouse, you hear a faint rhythmic sound follow him out. Look. Wonder what he'll do. You fine with letting him have his papers? Your choice. Sageleaf will be pissed either way. Now at least you might not have to deal with him anymore. I'll handle the fallout. Always do. Is it okay to have him running around? Not like we've got a jail to toss him in. Well, I mean, you do, but then you'd have to go do that. Sounds like a pain just to catch a lying bird. Going all the way to the stockade to do all the paperwork and document all the evidence. It would take a full day, if you're lucky. You believe anything he said? Sure. I'm certain he believes he's a victim here. I'm inclined to say the same, somewhat. And he did not blow up the tea shop. Not with that smuggling stuff going on. We need to check out the tea shop properly, ASAP, and then check up on that info broker. She had a connection with the Asgals in the tea shop. She also had a meeting with the Freestriders. Feels like she's a string connecting every fucking party in the city. What a fucking mess. Cool. Let's go. Toss papers to Snell and leave. We gave his papers back to him, though, so I think it's just written that way, but it shouldn't be. Okay, let's get out of here so we don't get found. Is that something splashing? I feel like I saw something. Okay, there was a lady that was here, but now she's not. Actually, I know, I have everything. Bailed on him. Snur Appledent, PN. Alright, let's see who this is. Never been here, never heard that name. I don't know. Oh. Children's drawings on the wall. Almost dead, but not yet. Scholarly commendation of the Fordnip Commonwealth. Political books. You see a collection of books from the philosophy canon, none of which you are really able to understand. Next to them, a line of famous political books. Asgallus Theory, Hedonists, Dark Book of the Shadow, Le Chandreau, many more. No Freestrider work. Disappointing. A scholar has good taste. Who the hell is the Shadow Lord? Open the Dark Book of Shadow by the Shadow Lord. You pick up the black-covered tome. A faint tingle goes through your gloved hand. That's the most evil book I've ever seen. How'd they even get the cover to be that black? It's like a void. Thick and graphene. That's how they create the darkness on the cover. A memory lingers in this tome. If you open it, you shall recall. Open it despite its evil nature. Yes. The text is not dangerous. The pages show but a holy scripture of the Shadow Lord's lost religion, one of eternal servitude and the search for life in death. Shadow Lord was an early walking god of the Divine Era, known for his legion of Death Knights and the grasp they held over Old Dimenor for close to a century. His city, Savalny, still stands today, and is where the remaining Shadow Clerics gather. Oh, it's in Reeds. Okay. Okay. So, we talk about the city. However, you remember it well. Oh, this was the first book you were ordered to study as punishment for your idiotic behavior at the towers. You remember. Your first journey towards the esoteric. Call it. Yes! How liberating it was. To know beyond any doubt how much greatness hid within your mind. Blurred faces, hushed whispers. A crowd of thoughtful peers, each snickering about your hand. A raised hand among a crowd of sheep. Patriarch. It's not just a religious text. They stare at you. It's a spell book. Those were the words. Oh, how they laughed. Oh my god, that's right, we have this like crazy ability to memorize spells from scrolls and things. Maybe he actually is the only one who could realize, maybe we can go the wizard god king cleric route. Oh, how they laughed. He asked you to prove yourself. So you did. I went up to the Patriarch. I took the Book of Shadow. Yes. Then Yes. Memorize detect alignment. You memorized it on the spot. Then you cast that ancient spell, once used by the Death Knights of the Shadow Lord to subjugate and control the minds of his people. A spell that is, despite its first level, not learned by most clerics until they grasp the intricacies of higher tier casting. Everyone was left stunned by your excellence. To not only master such a spell, but to do it in seconds instead of days. That moment, it was yours. From that moment, you marked your place at the towers as the greatest spellcaster, the greatest talent among them all. However, as always, the weak fear the strong. That moment also began your ostracization. Oh, you would never be among them. Never have peers. None would see you in any way as a brother or comrade. Oh, and then I could say I would be a leader, an enemy, an obstacle, or their end. I think 1 and 4 make the most sense. I would be a leader is the same to a lot of those people as an enemy or an obstacle or their end, right? They're all kind of similar. I'm gonna pick 4. I would be their end. You are. And you shall continue to be. Gasp for air. Your vision is blurry. It is filled by the pages of that book. It is a good one, despite its religious fervor. As many say, the Shadow Lord was as much an early arcanist as he was the greatest of the walking gods. Oh my god. Do I have it? Detect alignment. For an instant, any creature of the types aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead will be clearly indicated to you. Additionally, any behold check will reveal the creature's alignment in accordance to your strings. Spell affects all creatures in the current area. Holy. Interesting. Lucky, why do you have to do this? He climbed onto my lap. He decided to stop pacing in front of me. But he keeps farting. He does this every time he gets on me. He gets comfortable. He lets me out. I never hear it. Never feel it on me. No, never feel it on my leg or anything. It's just there. It's just barely there. Ugh. Ugh. That's why I have a bunch of perfumed stuff here. Bleh. Anyway. Detect alignment sin was crazy. Oh, okay, we found drummer, so now we can do this as well. Let me do it when we're not worried about time, potentially. Magical quill and paper. Tiny dictator, +2 int, advantage against bureaucrats. I'm taking it. I'm taking that, I stole it. Say that's an accessory, so it goes there. If I wear it and then talk to him, will he be upset? Can I put this on as an accessory? I can do it like this, can't I? Yeah. A lot of these other papers give you less int. This one is also, yeah. More dex, but no charisma. If I wear this and talk to him, is he gonna be upset? I'm gonna do it. I don't care. Oh, I should have examined him first. Oh well. Take a step into the cramped office, standing in front of a sleeping halfling. This is a scholar. Curse the gods. Go investigate his book collection before waking the lazy halfling. Leave him alone for now. Wait, I want to behold him first. Scholar Snure Appletent. Okay, a scholar of the Fordnip Commonwealth, a man working out of a hole in the wall. Alright, that's all we get. Okay. Hello? Oh. He moans and slowly opens his bushy eyes. His confused gaze focuses on you. Life is pain. What? Terrible, terrible pain. Oh, he mutters and rubs his face. The wrinkles fold over one another like waves on a storied sea. Are you... He looks at you with his weary expression, then he rubs his nose and sniffs twice. Are you here for the invoice? A quick glance to Snell. His words came out in a typical Fordnip accent. Kick the chair. Kick the chair. Gah! He grips the armrest of the chair. That was slightly unnecessary, Snell tells you. Stop this kicking! All done. Smiled despite the fact that no one can see it. I'm not dead yet, damn you. Oh, hold on. I've already paid that invoice. You're here for something different. He leans in, facing Snell. I hope Queen Goblin has no quarrel with this old squalor. Scholar? He holds up a palm. Nah, we're here on city business. I do like this one. I'm exploring random buildings and yours was unlocked. That's not... So, you are a trespasser of benevolent intent. I guess that's not too far off. Curiosity is absolutely vital for keeping the old brain in motion, so I commend you, cleric. And you as well, my goblin friend. He looks around grunting. Can I get either of you some fucking water or... He wields swear words like coastal winds. You like this guy. He's like a rabid dog without the biting, so far. No, thank you. Your companion replies very quickly. You're Scholar Appledent, right? Me? Yes. I'm Snure Appledent, he says, and bows his head in the chair. Scholar of Fordnip University, in dedicated service to the progress of AIS. You study alignment? Among other things. Primarily, my expertise lands on the topic of alignment and its many historical and contemporary applications. Some bullshit, I will tell you. These days, I mostly deal with other forms of study. Specifically, I run this office here on the experimental technique of psychoanalysis. What kind of magic is that? No magic at all. Although there has been some detect thoughts involved at some points in the development. It is a form of mind healing, as they call it. I'll be the one to call it support instead. He's a psychologist. It is essentially the idea that the mental present is shaped by the mental past, and that through dialogue, our unreleased unconscious ghosts can be vanquished. So it's talking about feelings? I know. Truly horrifying. A Region friend of mine once told me this joke, and I apologize if it is too vulgar for your taste, but he sputters out the words through little chortles. Listen to the vulgar joke. Right. A cleric, an arcanist, and a rogue delve into the lair of a succubus. The fiend defeats all three men, throwing them in her dungeon. But she grows to fancy them, so she offers them a choice. For each man who can successfully satisfy her, she will let that man go. Otherwise, he speaks with little fits of laughter between, she ends them, so to say. Actually, I haven't heard this one. Oh, I could actually him? I'll go along with him. What a rambunctious tale. Do go on. So the three adventurers debate in which order to go. Eventually, the rogue and arcanist decide the cleric should go first, as he is a virgin and will be least likely to increase her standards. Your goblin companion rubs his eyes as he listens to the joke. The cleric, being divine and so on, prays to his god and goes to the fiend's bedchambers. He comes out 10 minutes later, completely unharmed, and gives a thumbs up to his two friends, who of course both feel a great sense of relief. The arcanist goes in next, confident and arrogant. If the cleric could do it, the fiend must be easy. Within minutes, his bones roll out of the bedchamber entrance, the man having been incinerated by hellish flames. The rogue is horrified, but realizes, obviously the arcanist overestimated his abilities. So he carefully enters the bedchamber, ready to put every ounce of effort into it. Less than a minute later, screams erupt from the bedchamber, and the rogue's lifeless corpse falls out of the entrance. The cleric prays for the souls of his comrades and gathers their remains for burial. The succubus steps out, smoking a cigarette. She tells the cleric, "My, your friends were truly terrible. They were just fumbling about down there. At least you managed to touch it a little." To which the cleric responds, "You are truly an awful creature, and I will pray for your presence to be exorcised from this plane of existence every day until the day I die." Then, before he walks away, the cleric also adds, "Oh, but I did heal that horrible wound you had between your legs. Hopefully that makes you less evil in the future." The goblin lets out a slight gust of wind through his nose. Laugh hard. Ha ha ha. I get it. The halfling chortles loudly. My kind of humor, you might say. In short, you can view the succubus as an evil in the world which religious fervor would pray to repair. However, such reparation could often lead to a not-so-optimal path. He keeps on laughing. Or most simply, you could say it's a basic allegory for alignment itself. The cleric meant well for all intents, but his actions cost the lives of both his comrades. Is that evil? Or is it good? And so on. Either way, psychoanalysis. Yes, that's what we were talking about. It's about your feelings, thoughts, memories, choices you've made, things that have happened to you. They can bog you down, so to say. And the goal in my clinical practice is to root that out in my patients' minds and help make them aware of repressed negative baggage, if you will, so one can move forward more speedily. I don't have any repressed negative feelings. A bold claim. But it's not the only thing I work on here. I'm currently exploring the dream of anima animus. Something to do with masculinity and femininity based on Cividix's ideas. A dream of man and woman. What a pervert. You like this guy. You dream about... Oh, I'll say you explore men and women? Poor phrasing, but yes. Beyond that, I also focus a lot on my own unverified theories. He slaps his knees and grins. The folk spirit. Have you heard of it? Sounds like a collective folk view on morality. No, I have not. Understandable. It's not yet published. The folk spirit is the working title for my new thesis. Most of it is, if you excuse my ignorant, fucking bullshit. But in short, It is about how each folk share a number of core communal archetypes, or myths. I've traveled around the coast to collect as many tales, writing down thousands of stories previously only passed down orally. All to see how well my theory holds up in the minds of so many folk. He clears his throat and leans back into his chair. Apologies, I'm ranting here. Let us put a stop to it. What do you want, cleric? Oh my god, we need to do therapy. Can you give me some mind healing? Of course. I am, however, a bit swamped in work right now. I'll get you a booked slot. I have time after the election. You should come visit then. Can't you make time now? No, I'm afraid I cannot. Truth be told, I am very overworked. I'm struggling with a certain topic. He makes a noise that might once have been a cough. The old man is frustrated. He's trying to avoid even thinking about it. What? I'm focusing on a specific idea of civetics. The idea of two opposite faces of your ego, masculine and feminine. Oh, we just had this inner moment the other time when we thought about that one quest where our masculine and feminine sides were arguing internally, and we took the speak to women and they like you a little more boon, or whatever. The perk. But I just can't seem to get past a certain hurdle, obstacle. Just stare at him. You see, there is a work called Book of the Mind. It is, in my opinion, Civetics' masterpiece in the figurative sense. Figurative? Indeed. No, I'm asking, what does that mean? A figurative masterpiece. I'm saying it is a masterpiece in the sense of the common tongue, as opposed to a masterpiece in the literal sense, being a work to finish a master's scholarship. Anyway, there's a rare edition of this book, which contains a rumored so-called final foreword from Civetics himself. In this foreword, he apparently reveals a revelation about his categorization of the psyche, specifically on the topic of gender. Truly eldritch knowledge. Might be nothing, but it would be highly interesting to get my grubby hands on it. He leans in and whispers, and more importantly, it would bring me great pleasure to know how much Civetics would be spinning in whatever Thesenian mass grave he's buried in if he knew a halfling like myself was pioneering in his footsteps. He wasn't a fan? Like most humans of his era, he was very, let's say, humanity first. Snur leans back in his chair. This final 6th edition of the book, it was only printed in 10 copies. The publisher then hiked up the price in order to sell it to collectors. Those collectors have then spent the last 3 decades using these copies as a form of investment, making sure to keep the content of their foreword a tightly guarded secret. If it's about gender, then it's better to keep it a secret. He laughs. You fear the unveiling of weird gender bullshit? That is good. Fear means there's something interesting to find. So what? You want me to find this rare book? He nods. I drank a bit too much the other night. And in my desperation, I paid a diviner to cast Locate Object for me. I didn't expect anything, and it was very expensive. However, she actually found it. A copy of the 6th edition of Book of the Mind is here, very close to Waterlane View. And she even told me the exact direction. He points to the floor, about 40 meters, straight down. Meters? Right. That's something like 100 feet? 150 maybe? Sorry, the diviner was a free strider. You know, they're like in reeds, silly decimal people. It's in the city below. Yes, exactly. And you trust this diviner? Well, trust might be a bit strong of a word. But she was connected to the free striders. While they are ruthless capitalists, they would not... my cat is moving. Okay. They would not keep a scam artist around. Or if they did, it would be very funny, of course. What's her name? Lisa, I believe. He sniffs. She used to have a hut on top of the Free Strider building. It wandered away, I think. Wandered? Oh, that's the one the Griffin talked about. Makes little walking motions with his fingers. Skadoodled, as they say. It's very strange. An esoteric house. She seemed kind. I hope she stops working for those fucking parasites. This sounds like a quest. Sure, why not? So many side quests, Snell mutters to himself. Delve into the dangerous tunnels below and get me that book. Don't get yourself killed. In exchange, I will, well, what the fuck kind of reward do you want? Teach me how to be a man, heal my broken mind, or I don't know, do you have a magic item or something? You swear a lot. Yes? Fuck you. Life is pain. Get over it. We want therapy from him. I think that'd be the funniest. I want you to heal my broken mind. Impossible. No one can fix another's mind. Okay. I want you to teach me how to be a man. No. Impossible. I have no idea myself. Pick something different. I don't know. Do you have a magic item or something? I have books in droves? You know what? He says and snaps his fingers. The book itself. It's expensive and probably magical in some sense. Give me the book. Let me take a look at that forward, and you keep the book afterwards. That's still a quest, right? Oh. But I don't have to even return to you in that case. I can just take the book and go. True. He sighs. Suppose I can offer some guidance in understanding the book as well. If you let me make a copy of that forward real quick. Cheer. Woohoo! He sniffs. I'm not an expert in what kind of weird shit is down there, but the city below is dangerous, so don't wander blindly. Okay. I want to inquire about this folk spirit. Imagine, if you will, the origin of your stories. Of our stories. Just keep quiet and let him rant. As sentient folk, we clearly have the base ability to come up with random ideas and turn them into emotionally resonant tales. Tales that explore the condition of life itself and make us feel many things. But an interesting thing happens if one were to study the core parts of these stories. That even if we look at stories crafted in entirely different bands, separate, isolated tribes, or even the worlds outside your itself, there's overlap. Should I just let him speak? Just repeat the last thing you said. That'll make you sound smart. Overlap? Indeed. That's so true. Humans who live in the remote mountains of Im have the same repeated tropes in their foundational myths as humans in Reeds. Same for halflings. The Stormbloods of Kargamesh have the same variations as the people in Fordnip, despite being separated in esoteric evolution by at least 10 millennia. It's as if every folk is haunted by a spirit, like an unconscious collective dream of concepts and ideas that follow us. Even when those separate folk originate from entirely different worlds, could you imagine? Two folk arrive through two separate gates of yore. They are alien to one another, culturally, spiritually, biologically. Yet they share those core myths. That is what I'm studying. Don't let him rant anymore, please. That is very interesting, isn't it? Most importantly, it's provable. Unified soul of a people. What happens upon merger? How's it provable? Reproducibility. Analysis. Cultures and folk who had no contact with one another, even originating from different worlds, both have the same core myths. Narrative traits, archetypes, repeated tropes. It's the same method used when uncovering ancient dead languages, using common denominators to narrow down similarities and differences. He adjusts his mustache. Now, there hasn't been that much reproducibility yet from my peers. Still working on getting other scholars on this topic. Is there a folk spirit that's better than the others? Better means nothing. There's so much weight put onto making one greater in some perspective than others, and it's just a ridiculous game of dick swinging. Of course, I also hate this horrid idea that every culture is amazing and wonderful and, you know, everyone's holding hands and dancing together. No. Every culture is equally terrible. But they are all specialized. These symbols we produce are clothed in a meaning based on lived experience. A human living in the frozen tundra will derive and require much different practical uses of those core myths than a man living in the harsh deserts. Yet each folk type has its own fundamental traits that these symbols represent. You talk a lot. I know. Just tell me to shut up whenever you get tired. What happens when two folk types merge? Ah, yes. He lifts a finger. No clue. He's honest. It is even harder to pinpoint due to the nature of merging cultures. In cases like humans and dwarves here in Norvik, there's more data, but not enough to say anything of note. But it seems to me like the folk spirit remains pure in a sense, in one direction or the other. For example, humans can obviously reproduce with dwarves, but the offspring is always, aesthetically and biologically speaking, very human, which does not make sense biologically. We are, scientifically speaking, different species. Species. Dogs do not breed with cats, do they? The same effect can be seen in most functional folk mixed breeding. Logically, it should not be. Evolutionary adaptation dictates the creation of a mixture, not a one-sided creature. So it is theorized to be some type of powerful esoteric effect that allows this reproduction to take place. In the scholarly community, we call it the OSO effect, one-sided offspring. Maybe he wonders about this because he's halfling himself. You know a lot about this topic, huh? Once again, I'm afraid this is all coming from experiments performed by arcanists. Horrifically so. This one side's almost always dominant, huh? Not biologically speaking, but esoterically, yes. Objectively so. There's a list of this hierarchy in some textbooks, but it's a pretty taboo topic, as you might imagine. Ooh, but doesn't that mean the dwarves would eventually stop existing in Norvik and just become human? That is a good question. If two people live alongside one another for a long enough time, and they reproduce with one another equally, but the offspring are all aesthetically human, then yes. Eventually there would only be one people, and it would be a people who look human. Oh, interesting. However, there is a big factor in charge here. That is the elusive and enticing topic of mating preference. There's not much proven data I can point to, but if you allow me to speculate, then I would say only a minority of the population of any tribe will ever have a strict preference for mating outside of that tribe. Without basic assumption like that, I do not believe the tribe itself would remain intact enough for civilization to emerge. So in the case of dwarves and Norvik, I do not believe the two tribes can ever truly merge. Cooperate? Yes. Cohabitate? Of course. Even mingle and date and crossbreed? Absolutely. Why not? But merge? No. Impossible. Of course, this assumption ignores the OSO effect. So it feels a bit crackpotty. Take it as you wish. Okay, and he thinks the folk spirit follows the one-sided offspring. Maybe. I've not done enough work to say anything for sure. Nor have I been peer-reviewed. Nor am I a very sane or stable individual. He grins? I think I understand. The goblin crosses his arms, ready to hear your comment. I think your theory needs a lot of work. He nods to you. That it does. Sniffs. Thank you for listening to my rant, cleric. You as well, my goblin friend. You're welcome? This guy says so much. You're an expert in alignment, huh? Somewhat. I wrote my masterpiece on the subject. That should account for somewhat of an understanding on the subject, but not enough. Never enough. Sniffs. Ooh, do we have an alignment? So they're talking very much about the like D&D alignments here. Does our character even have one? Can you change your alignment? Of course, any creature is capable of leaning in the axis depending on their day-to-day actions. Oh, just like that. It's not easy if that's what you're thinking. Look, like all things, it's messy. Let's say you're lawful evil. Okay. You find that being labeled as evil is bad for your business, or your work prospects, as one might. So you choose to donate a large sum of money to a charity that will inevitably help thousands. You might even save some lives with those spent coins. Dude, I'm such a good guy. Of course. In this case, you've performed an objectively good, selfless action for evil, selfish reasons. So what happens next? He points at you. Nothing. You remain lawful evil. But let's change the parameters. Instead, you are a lawful evil man who genuinely wishes to repent, to pay for the many evil things you've done in your life before. If this man performs a selfless action with the intention of selflessness, then all of a sudden it will begin a shift in his alignment. Oh. Oh, indeed. This effect has obviously been studied for centuries. It's aptly named Alignment Intent Studies. I personally received my scholarship through studying delusional intent. We gathered a large amount of very mentally unwell people, mostly from the local prisons and post-war reads, who truly believed in a very different worldview than most others. For example, this one man was certain that he had to kill his fellow man, or the world would end. 1 murder a week. An extreme delusion. However, any detection spell showed him to be neutral good, and he felt terrible about all the murders he had committed. He was not selfish. In fact, he was more selfless than most, willing to perform acts that horrified him in order to save us all. Oh, the objective outcome of his actions mattered not, no more than the outcomes of the actions of a person under a charm spell. Hold on, I'm just reading through these, trying to decide what I want to do. I guess that order doesn't matter. You can go through them. So what if you're not smart enough to understand your actions? This is what we call the sentience line. It's not exact. Animals, for example, are true neutral by default, and that is not a pure beast. Maybe this is extra here. But rather affected by esoteric forces on some level. That's the theory, at least. But imagine a man who loses enough of his mental faculties to be considered a beast, no longer living in a world of good or evil. Let's say he was chaotic good beforehand. What happens to his alignment? Does he suddenly turn true neutral? Is he stuck at chaotic good? Or does he somehow slide towards true neutral? Because that's another thing. There is no known way to perform a neutral all actions are either some level of selfish, selfless, lawful, or chaotic. Lawlik, on a wide spectrum. But you can never just move towards the center. It's just not allowed. Okay, are you born with your alignment? No. All creatures are born true neutral. And all reported metrics show babies are unable to perform alignment shifts until the age of about 3 to 7, depending on the folk. And interestingly enough, it's shown that most people will only perform 1 or 2 alignment shifts in their entire lifetime. Scratches his cheek and sniffs a couple times during adolescence. After that, less than 1/10 of folk will ever shift again. There's fairly substantially verified data as well. So essentially, despite having free will, folk will always lean towards the natural behavior over time. We're slaves to our natures then. On a broad scale, when looking at the data, yes. But it was Civitics who wrote, "There is no honor in branding a naturally selfless man as good. There is all honor in a selfish monster receiving the same title. Remember that." What's the difference between alignment and personality? I have to move my leg. Ugh, excuse me, Ducky. Not too much correlation on paper. Studies on personality show that there is overlap. Conscientious folk tend to be more lawful. Neurotic and open folk tend to be more good, to a minor degree. We're talking about still unverified and very minor correlations. Wait, does that mean everything I do is branded as good, evil, chaotic, or lawful? Even this that I'm saying right now? In some small sense, yes. The very act of speaking, no matter what you say, will always give you very, very small points in any direction. Although, could you imagine trying to keep track of it all? It would be insane. So no person would ever go to such lengths. So no need to keep track of stuff like that. It will only drive you mad. So you can will yourself into changing your alignment? In theory, yes. I made my decision. I get to tell him what I want to be. Oh, man. Chat, what do you think you are, IRL? What do you think you're like? Your alignment is? For real, not your whimsical, I want to be this thing. What are you actually? Lawful stupid. Lawful neutral, neutral good, neutral evil. Lawful good. Lawful evil, neutral good, lawful good, or lawful neutral. I'm apolitical. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, I want to opt out of this alignment thing. It's not my style. I'm apolitical, you see. I don't really have an alignment. It's just not for me, you know? It's not for me. Is there lawful chaotic? No. That's not how the square of axes works. I'm actually chaotic good, no joke. What am I? What would I be? I don't know. I got no clue, dude. I'm like apolitical and stuff. It's just like not for me. Isn't that so cool? Isn't that so interesting? What a mystery. All right, what am I playing this guy as though? What would he say he wants to be? I'm trying to think of how I'm playing the cleric right now. I think he would want to be... This one's very wisdom heavy, very druidic. But he also wants to be the God King. The wizard God King cleric. In political alignment. I think he wants to be lawful neutral. I think. This probably doesn't matter, no matter what we say. But I think that's what this guy would want. Curious about this game, so I kind of hopped in to see it. Dude, it's so good. I want to be lawful neutral. That is not how it works, cleric. It didn't matter what I picked. You'd have to be incredibly deluded, and I mean an absolute living in your own world, mentally unstable, in order to simply decide what your alignment were and actually get an outcome from it. But, I suppose it can't hurt. Good luck being... Sorry, what did you choose again? It was, yes? Makes more sense to focus on yourself without being constricted by the rules. Chaotic, then. Perhaps chaotic evil? You don't say that out loud, though. Lawful evil. Structure. With you on top, obviously. Oh, that's what he wants as Wizard God King. Chaotic good. Your heart tells you clearly, every day, you don't live for you. You live for others. Against all the structural horrors the world has brought up around you. You're not gonna like it, but the goal is to end up on top, right? Win every conversation. You're not really moving along the axis of law, so you're neutral evil. But seriously, whatever you do, do not tell that to the halfling. I'm opting out. I think what Int said, lawful evil structure with you on the top, obviously. I think lawful evil would be good. Also wisdom heavy. So she says chaotic good, which is totally different. I think the way I'm playing this cleric, though, he wouldn't say that. I think he'd say lawful neutral. I just want to go by the rules and I don't give a fuck if it's good or bad. He's asking what you chose? Yeah. But then, this time, you know, we consulted our inner thoughts. Int seemed pretty neutral until the moment he found the Book of Shadows. Well, you'll notice that when you look at the alignments, the political alignments, they have different colors. The Free Strider movement is yellow. Dex is also yellow. The Asgalists are green. Wisdom is also green. Wizardry and intelligence are blue. What else is blue? When I say I want to be the leader, I want to be the wizard, god, king, cleric, that's blue. An arcanist. So, and water. Water's blue. Good job. Very good. Very good. But yeah, I think that is kind of like I had the inkling that Int was going that direction of like, I'm the smartest, which means I know what's best for all of you, right? And blueberries. Let's go with lawful neutral. I think the way I've been playing him, he would say this. Right, a true law-abiding citizen. He nods. Good luck with that, cleric. What does good mean? What a question. I cannot offer a universal answer. That is impossible, of course. But from the data, there are a few ways of distilling the essence of goodness. For example, the amount of good you are is directly correlated with the amount of time you spend inside your own mind, worrying about how much pain you've inflicted upon the world. And of course, practically, it also means performing selfless actions. Performative sacrifices done entirely for the purpose of helping others, instant goodness. What does evil mean? Most people would say they know it when they see it. But practically, it means selfishness. For example, a person with a mental pathology that disallows compassion and empathy, making them naturally only hold care for no one but their own self. That is naturally an evil individual. But at the same time, we are all basically evil, egotistical, disgusting creatures in the end if push comes to shove, as they say. Since, obviously, all of us have a part that is focused more on our own survival rather than the survival of the foreign. Otherwise, we would not be alive in the evolutionary sense. What does chaotic mean? Now, that can be difficult to parse sometimes. We've done many experiments to try to distill the exact meaning of it. It's difficult. Mainly because who decides what is law? Gods? Your local government? Village elder? No. What is what is chaos and order is universal. A law can be chaotic, as contradictory as it sounds, if its dictation brings chaos into the world. But generally what we found is that there are a few common rules that chaos follows. Breaking down structures, whether that is a building or a hierarchy of society, lies. In fact, any action that purposefully goes against a known truth is considered chaotic. And of course, randomization. Rolling a dice is an inherently chaotic act, as is any form of gambling. It's actually one of the easier ways to measuring chaotic behavior. We used to go to the local gambling parlor. Good times. What does lawful mean? Lawful actions could be difficult to perform. It's all about building. Crafting buildings, for one, or hierarchies of structure, keeping families intact and orderly organizations, as well as following the truth. There have been many tyrannical lawful governments throughout history that quickly succumbed to chaos due to their warping of the truth itself. But then again, if you can convince people to enter another reality, if you will, where a lie is true, then all of a sudden the folk in that reality will be lawful, despite working and living in a lie. It can get very convoluted and fascinating. Who decides what any of this means? There are theories. Some say it's the gods. Some say it's Yor himself who controls the parameters in this world of his. Some believe it's simply inscribed into the universe and as absolute law. What do you think? I do not know. If I had to guess, I would say it is something overlapping between worlds. Mostly because I do not believe Yor, from all I've read, to be smart enough to make up a system as complicated as this on his own. Does alignment matter? Oh, not in any real way. It could be a tool. If you cannot read it properly, seeing a man branded with chaotic evil means nothing. But if you learn, it can be used to understand folk better. You can statistically expect an evil person to act in their own interest, and you can expect a good person to act in the interest of others. A smart man could use this to his advantage, which is also an evil act, I believe. Funny how it goes. Why isn't it illegal to be evil? Might as well make it illegal to be sentient. Branding it as evil might be the core problem there. There were arcanists who created alternate naming conventions for alignments, altruism and egotism, for example, but it did not catch on, as they say. But everyone has to be evil sometimes. Imagine your family starving alongside 2 other families who are also starving. The other families are smaller folk who only need half as much food. Would you feed your own family or sacrifice them to feed the other 2 families? Ooh. I don't have a family of my own. No, it's a thought experiment. Imagine if you do. Depends. What are the other families like? They're just as nice and lovely as your own. And my family is very nice and lovely. What would you choose? My own family. That is a normal answer, yes. But what exactly is objectively considered in alignment terms in this scenario? Is it selfish to care for your own people before others? Has it more to do with the exact number of people who live or die, suffer or prosper, in a purely utilitarian perspective? These questions have all been asked before, and have arguably been answered. From what we can see, especially looking at the data collected from horrendously unethical experiments performed by arcana scholars, it's just about intention. If a man chooses to focus on his own family but feels really bad about the other starving families, then he will be more good than another man who does not think of the others suffering at all. The proximity rule states that the emotional distance between yourself and the target determines the level of selfishness. If you sacrifice your life to protect your family, that's more selfish than if you sacrifice your life for a stranger. The latter is more good. So in the end, a genuinely selfless person will always have a much easier time being branded with good than a naturally selfish one. He scratches his hairy eyebrows simultaneously. By the gods, I talk too much. Make me stop. Okay. Oh my god, oh, he says so much! But I like him. How does death and resurrection work with all this stuff? What do you mean exactly? Can death change your nature? A frown spreads across his face. Necromancers and old arcane era traditions did much study on the topic. And yes, death and subsequent resurrection can function as a reset for the mind in a way. But arguably no less than any other severe trauma. The data is hard to trust, however. So I will not say it for sure. There's much study to do on the topic, and I'm no expert. Okay, we'll go through just the ones that I really care about. Why don't you use magic in your mind healing? It does not work. Not the greatest arcanists could invent a spell capable of fixing mental unwellness. If you happen to find a cure mind spell, you would make a fucking fortune casting it on rich people around the coast. Although just the thought of such magic gives me a sort of ontological nightmare. What does it mean to have a cured mind? Did your, or some outside god, at some point, decide what constitutes a wound of the mind? In the same way suffering is used to heal wounds of the physical. Pain equals negativity. That is universal. The universal indicator of the negative. Yes. When you heal a person, magic itself targets the source of pain, as a sort of bullseye for reverting any harm, no matter the source or specific biology of the person. But what if one suffers from night terrors caused by some horrors of the past? Should a mind heal spell remove your ability to have night terrors, or should it remove their traumatic source from your memory? Or simply lessen your mental ability of neuroticism? Could the latter lead to a society without neurotic people? Would that also dampen other fears? What would you consider to be a good level of negative thoughts? It sends my mind spinning. There's a reason why that spell does not exist then. Indeed. The halfling leans back in his chair. No, the mind requires another method. One I and many others are attempting to untangle. We will see if any of us are even remotely successful in this brain bullshit. What is love? Love. He lets out a frustrated groan. Pure calamity. Deadly and destructive. Its nature is just perverted and foul. Because it is a complete surrender without idealization. To love is to accept without proof of or demands or conditions. It's complete surrender to another. Ridiculously risky. This guy's more fucked up than you are. Yeah, fuck love. Do you know a lot about love? Sure I do. My wife would certainly attest to it, despite my horrid nature. And the familial love is close to my heart as well. My 2 boys are my most prized works. I wish I had a wife and kids. Grass is always greener, and so on, he says with a laugh. Trust me. He does not wish to speak about this, not one bit. His personal life leads to a twinge of pain in the crease of his eyes every time he thinks of it. The scholar's got one hell of a messed up family, then. Don't push it. He won't talk, nor is it interesting. So, I shouldn't love? He shrugs. If you can, yes. Of course you should not take such a risky bet. Then he takes a breath, calming himself down for the punchline. Love is a completely unpredictable and dangerous encounter. And I have yet to meet a sentient folk which is not afflicted by it. And interestingly enough, I see no difference. It is universal. Elf love, halfling love, devil love. True love is always irrational. It is finding the perfect inside of the imperfect, and falling entirely into it, swallowed by it. Some folk might act it out in different ways, depending on their communal nature or biological urges. But if you are one of the few who do not need it, good. Be happy. If you are not, then good luck. May the gods bless your soul. Okay, where do I go for the book? He leans in 120 feet. And then points to the floor, straight down in the city below. Okay. What do you know about the tea shop? Oh, horrific. He gestures wildly towards the rocky wall. Shit started shaking. It was as if the red rock of Tolstad itself was cracking. For half a second or so. So you were down here when it happened? Yes. I think I was asleep, but the sound awoke me. Did you go check it out? No. Someone told me later what it was like. Hear anything about it? Rumors? You should not believe rumors, cleric. But yes, I did hear some nasty stuff. Some people seem to think the owner did it himself since he's missing. Some others think the city did it since they printed a clear lie in the post. I've also heard people say the Asgalists are responsible since it was their hideout. Or that the Freestriders did it for the same reason, blowing up the Asgalist opposition and so on. It's all bullshit, of course. Don't believe rumors. What do you think happened? He shrugs violently. What are you voting in the election? I'm a filthy Asgalist. I call it filthy. Have you ever seen a clean Asgalist? Oh. He laughs at his own joke. Joke. The green banner has flown in a strange context here in this Republican wet dream of ours. Asgalism is supposed to be about abolishing the entire structure of hierarchy. That history is driven by economic struggles, specifically the clash between classes. Asgal's end goal is a classless, stateless society where everyone's equal. But looking at the Norvikian Asgalists, it's clear to me that they long ago let this goal slip past. Look at them. They're shaking hands with the establishment, trying to find a peaceful solution, they say. They're simply becoming part of the establishment. True. A compromise with capitalism will always be all-consuming. Look, the hairy halfling mutters. Genuine change, true change, needs a truly revolutionary break with the existing order. There's no doubt about that. Incremental reforms, small changes, within the capitalist system will always fail to address its fundamental contradictions and injustices. My time in Reed's made that clear to me. But always be wary of simplistic utopian visions. It is a path covered in corpses that leads to such blind idealism. So I will vote for the social democratic compromise. This handshake with capital. Then I'll go home and piss myself and die, dreaming the next generation will have answers I do not. Ooh. Compromise is good enough for now. It's kind of agreeing with what the current ones are doing. Agreeing with him, hoping the next generation votes survival. Saying I hate Asgalists, or I, on the other hand, am not an Asgalist. Yeah, Arcanist. I, on the other hand, am not an Asgalist. Lucky bastard. With a deep groan, he starts rubbing his hairy face. Workers unite. And unionization and guild power, it is all well and good, until it gets too loud. Make a bit too much noise, and the true powers quickly and efficiently drop this illusionary mask, facade. The esoteric spell that tricks us into thinking they care, or that they are in any way Vulcarian. So what about you, cleric? Tell me, if not as Gallus, what are you voting? I could call him a gnome. I am voting for the new God King Wizard Emperor of Norvik. Emperor! Wait, we're getting new words. Oh? Who was that? I did not see that dude on the card. Me, of course. Oh, look at that. He nods. What are your qualifications? Come on, sell it to me. Why should you be king? Oh no. He sniffs. Now, for something else, before I start ranting about the suffragette movement. Your companion glances at you. Yeah, I've got some other questions. What is the Clanland ordeal? You're a halfling, right? Give me your thoughts on the Clanland ordeal. Stretches his nose and looks up into the air. He repeats. My homeland is a shell of broken people. The clans of my kin, especially those stuck under the occupation across the Golden Line. They're being systematically destroyed, step by step as the Horde marches into Askani land. Oh, lucky. He's hiking himself up. There we go. Isn't there peace right now? Peace in the most devious technical sense, yes. He grunts. Clanland's deal, this armistice, was seen by many as a practical solution, since only 2 clans were left to be enslaved and integrated as Horde tributaries. Oh my god, I can't read today. He slams his hand into the side of the chair. It is a band-aid. Celestials view time in centuries, while we see in decades at best. Thus, they can take one piece at a time, with generational acceptance in between. It is the most clean method of genocide, one of radiant ghosts and insidious toxic love. I'm gonna do this one. Why do they want the Clanland so badly? He waves his hand. It is a basic resource conflict. Oh? Amber. You know, Electrum. I've heard the Fordnip has a bunch of mining operations. A big fucking understatement. Commonwealth is the only reliable source of amber for the many, many esoteric use cases. Spell storing, item crafting, consecration, esoteric attunement. It is an extremely useful material, a powerful one. So it is really no wonder the Horde wants to expand their Golden Line. If Norvik was more reliant on amber as a resource, I'm sure they too would covet those hills. But trading with the halflings does not seem so different from trading with the Horde. At least not today. Okay, I don't have too much interest in that topic right now. Personal questions. Nothing too interesting there. I see no reason why you would investigate an old halfling with nothing good to grant it to the world. Please? He waves his hand dismissively. Keep your secrets. Okay. Damn, alright. He still has some dialogue, but it's all stuff that I feel like is, like, not going to give you too much more understanding of what's going on here. And each time you talk about a new topic, you spend time in the game, so, like, you know, time passes. So I'll come back if we can. See if this guy's back yet. Hatch on the door swings open. Ayo. Stick an AFA into the deposit slot from the street free striders next door. I see. I've heard of this. It will be considered. Anything else? Another one delivered. Hells yeah. I'm here to pick up my book. Yes, it is done now. Now you pay. Payment? How much? The process was quite complicated, but I handled it like the pro I am. Oh, the final cost is 250 Norvikian crowns. Oh boy, that's a fair amount for you. Pay now. You could purchase a basic spellbook for 50. However, if this bird is as proficient as he believes himself to be, then it could be worth the cost. Make him lower the price, through pure charm. You gotta comb his feathers, you know? Make it 100 and I'll owe you big time. Wouldn't it be nice to have a cleric in your debt? True. Okay, pay 100, then you get your book. Great, pay 100 crowns. I have a bunch. You toss in all 100 crowns from your pouch of holding, and out of the slot in the door, you see the end of a paper-wrapped book. Phoenix Foley, okay. Take it. You open the wrap, discovering a wildly bound book. Its paper smelling fresh, like a fresh, damp forest. Yet it is easy to use. Opening it reveals a series of primal patterns. It is quite frankly a masterpiece of esoteric delight. You are happy, I can see it. The yellow eyes tilt to the sides as they peer at you from the slot. Now be on your way. And mention my services to your clerical friends. I'm the best, you see. That needs to be known. Will do, General. Thank you. Be in here. Ooh, +2 wisdom and adds your proficiency to your max prepared spells. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that's huge. We need to go pray at a thing, prepare some more spells. That's insane. Absolutely crazy. Is that person here? No. Oh. We need to go deeper on this, don't we? We must go deeper. We also need to do this. See, let the bird go. Okay, yeah, this is the tea shop owner. Gave him his papers and everything. Sure did. Oh yes. That was a fine outcome. Living up to the free strider ideal. Everyone should be able to come and go as they please. The free market is built upon the ability of the movers of goods, from merchants to sailors to dock workers, to be able to transfer themselves into situations of required labor. Basic supply and demand. Supply and demand of people. Hells yes. Freedom of movement. It's literally the most fundamental policy of the Free Strider bloc. In the real old days, the only people with resources to travel would be the aristocrats of societies. In the real early days, that'd be the top dragon servant, the top slaves, right? Because all the humans were just slaves of dragons when they first came to the world in this story. Then, during the last few centuries, that changed. The average person suddenly got the ability to move. On a societal scale, sure, but also in a geographic sense. Each of the Arcana splinters dealt with it in different ways. But in general, especially once the Coast War broke out for real, all the borders got real tight. A shoot-on-sight type policy wasn't uncommon. And that's shit. Real shit. That was overkill, but we should still have some type of border controls, right? No. All of it is bad. Let's go over the facts here. The number one cause of starvation, poverty, and economically related suffering is the general lack of prosperity. Historically, it's understandable why peasants and kings, or early arcanists, didn't really get this, because they just didn't have any reference point. If things were always terrible, you wouldn't even know what good is, right? Then comes industry. Mass production. Both esoteric stuff, access to free food, healing services, teleportation, and the fundamentals. Textile factories, metal refining, and transportation. All of it giving way to an unprecedented amount of prosperity for everyone. It's like cheating in the economy. Everybody gets rich all of a sudden, even the old aristocrats. So then you have the question of nation states, of borders. You can make an argument that freedom of movement goes against certain ideals of nationalism, sure. You can't completely lock your own people away from others. Can't stay out of the global trade. You lose that authoritarian touch. In return, you get a supra-magical economic boost, one that helps everyone. You know those Asgals that hate free striderism so much? This is the point where they all shut the fuck up and sit down. Because Asgalism didn't make anything better. Not anywhere near the degree that opening the markets did. And locking down your borders. Not allowing trade, people, labor, goods, and services to flow at the behest of the benevolent invisible hand. Oh, okay. That's literally like arbitrarily making your people, all your people, objectively less wealthy and probably a lot hungrier, just for some dumb ego trip. Thus, immigration is fucking great. And anyone who disagrees is a fucking idiot. You've convinced me I will now allow strangers to come live with me in my apartment. Oh man, I don't know what to pick. Hold on, let me read these to myself again. I think, okay, so I was reading over it and then also trying to consider it again from the way I've been playing the cleric in his perspective, because I'm not playing this as me. I think this cleric I've been playing would say this one. He sees the merits, but he also sees how just unfettered immigration in this world, where you have like goblins and trolls and orcs and things, creatures that are so different from each other, can be not good at times. And I think this cleric has seen this a lot with the goblins, and Snell telling us about his experiences and what the goblins live like under human rule right now. And how, you know, the thought would come to your head of, it would be better if the goblins just had their own place and they didn't have to deal with each other, because clearly they can't coexist too easily. Some can show up and survive, but doesn't always work. So I think we'd say this one. Yeah, sure. But the market will take care of that by itself. The vacant jobs create the immigration appeal by itself. Nobody would move across the world if there aren't any jobs. That would be ridiculous. What if they do? What do you mean? These are kind of the same answer, but I think this one, because this is a good, asylum seekers is a good example. So what if they moved to get away from the even worse situations? Wouldn't that overwhelm the nation targeted by the mass immigration? Well, that just wouldn't happen. So anyway, yeah. Letting drummer leave, real swell move. Oh, he went full head in the sand for a second. That wouldn't happen. Just a straight up class act. You could clearly learn a lot from that bird. He's got that infectious paranoia about him. Oh shit. Your stomach's upset. The bird. Yeah? The bird is a survivor. That is his legacy. More than that, he really had one hell of a way to handle himself. Ignoring the shitty escape attempt, you saw he danced around your questions? Seriously, maybe it's a racial thing, but he read the room just as well as he recorded those voices. Honestly, both of those are damn true. Take any lesson you want from him. That bird's got game. And remember, immigration is good. Okay, these are 3 perks I'll be able to take, or 3 feats. I have to pick one. Okay, infectious paranoia. Be ready for anything. The world could fall apart at any second. The walls could implode. Your dreams shattered. When that happens, you get ready to run. Leave the city in a crate. Ship yourself to Heishi. Whatever it takes to get away from any of those pesky consequences. Infectious paranoia advantage on initiative rolls. Survival of the fittest. You live through it all. Advantage on death saving throws. Reading the room? You want to say the right thing, right? Make the right choice? Yeah. Might help to have a quick glance around the room first. Advantage on behold checks. They're all good, but they're all similarly, like, not the most useful. They're pretty good, but not things I necessarily need, because advantage on initiative rolls helps me in combat sometimes, but you can usually get through it whether your initiative is good or not. Advantage on death saving throws is good, but it just saves time, because if you die, you just do the encounter again. Because this is a video game. And then reading the room, advantage on behold checks. That's good because you can only behold each person once a day, but if you do behold and you learn a lot from beholding them, it doesn't change too much about how you approach them always. Sometimes it does, a lot of the time it doesn't. I'm thinking I take, honestly, the death saving throws one, because I feel like we're gonna end up in that situation a lot. Or behold checks. I think we don't take the initiative one. Yeah, because of the time spent, exactly. But not that much time. It doesn't say me in-game time, it just lets me behold them earlier. I think I'm going to do survival of the fittest, honestly. I'm going to take that. I'm going to pick survival of the fittest. You will live. Okay. Ooh, I'm so zoomed in. Wahoo! Okay, how do I go deeper? Oh, can I date this woman? We haven't saved in a bit. Can I date the dark elf? Let me super ultra behold her. Ooh. Unbothered, moisturized, happy in her lane. Focus on her work. Her nose goes deep, far below the city. Learn from her in her loneliness. Alright, we've talked to her before. It's Nessun. Ah, I can't flirt with her. Shit. But she was so nice to me. Okay, what about Lady Sageleaf? Behold her with wisdom. Oh, okay. Something's very wrong. Her eyes are striking your soul. What is that feeling, or you will be consumed? Level 18 chieftain. Jesus Christ. She's very strong. Engage. Cleric. Lady leans back in her throne. You've returned. She's our main employer right now, so we should report to her. We should. I have some other stuff other than the tea shop to report. Tea shop first, cleric. Focus on that first. Huh? Snell nods. Tea shop first. Tea shop first. Jeez, fine. Just wanted to share some news about Drummer, but whatever. Let's do it later. Is this your garden? I feel like I asked her this stuff. No, I didn't. No, this is a sanctuary for all. I'm just its keeper. How? Points toward the ceiling. No sun? Ah, we don't need that here. Sunlight is simply replaced by the naturally occurring light sprites. Natural? No. Magical. Must be leftover of some old arcane experiment. Snell's a huge thing for Sageleaf. Oh yeah, he's completely in love with her. He's a huge thing for her. But he also is like super respectful of her. This is no primal magic. It's something different. Further below, we also cultivate a range of deep fungi. If you meet her, speak with my gardener. She can speak more on the subject. So it's your garden. Yes, I suppose you could say that. Do people live down here? Yes. Goblins. Goblins live down here, and other lower beings. Lower? No, they're greater than you think. Got it. Nice garden. Thank you. So this HWBT, what exactly is it? She snorts. It's an affiliation, an organization, a family. Your family? Yes. That's a lot of kids. The lady raises her chin. Any goblinoid willing to serve the family is welcome to my loving embrace. Are you registered at the Tithe House? Of course. What do you take me for, some huckster? We're registered as a tribal organization, with some special regards. Why is it called the Halfway Bridge Tribe? I'd say it's obvious. My people have lived in the tunnels of Tolstad for 5 generations. 5 goblin generations. That's around 50 years. Oh. The tunnels underneath the famous broken bridge of Norvik. The bridge that only reaches halfway across the river. When I united us, that name grew popular. What's your role here? My role? I'm the Director of Operations. Okay. What are you voting in the upcoming election? You dare tread on such volatile grounds here in my chambers? Yes. Really? It shakes. You dare ask of my political opinions? Yes. Oh, okay. Well, I haven't decided. Oh. Her eyes dart around the chamber to her subjects. Then her gaze lands on you once more. Yet. That's the best answer you'll get. She knows what's up. So you're not leaning in any particular direction, or... No. And I encourage every one of my subjects to think for themselves on what they wish to vote. Oh, yeah, there we go with her. She knows every goblin in her tribe will just vote for her preferred party if she were to express her thoughts. So she doesn't, to keep the tribe unaligned. I think we might have read this one. She's incredible. An apolitical tour de force. That's all for now. Please let me flirt with more women. Please. Okay, where's my map? I don't know how to go further below, and I don't think we can just yet. We need to go down from Pillar Crossing. We can go down to the roots. How did we get down to all this? Oh, they don't have a map of that maze-like area. Maybe lower layer? Was it this way? Or was this underneath? No, this was underneath, was this Viscans? I guess we can go this way. Okay, that's the way down. But first, prep spells. I can do 3 more. I think all but good apple. Huge. No, I haven't hit on the Sphinx yet. I do have to go and talk to the Sphinx. I didn't get to talk to too many people in the bar. We've already done this. Surely it doesn't trigger again. Okay. Can I talk to the pillar here? I think we might have done this once, but I want to try it again. The pillar of your towers before you. He's speaking to you. Touch the pillar. Cold pillar. Touch. You place your hand upon the cold surface. Your body quakes, standing in awe of this ancient object. How many battles do you think it has seen? How many deaths? How many noble sacrifices given to one's god or king or people? You do not know. And that frightens you. Perhaps one day you will join in that sacred sensation. Perhaps right now. Participation, so that's at disadvantage, but also advantage because I've talked to it. Okay, I'm gonna try it. It's DC 13. Oh. Closing your eyes, you begin to focus. Your mind placed squarely at this esoteric force. Your mind forms into an arrow and you fire it forward, but it is repelled. Opening your eyes, your hand is no longer pressed against the cold surface of the pillar. You're instead holding it against your heart, shaking. This is wrong. Yes. Try again later. Whatever is whispering to you from beyond is more powerful than you imagined. Oh, I want to try again. One more time. One more. Oh. Oh. Do I try again or no? I have a couple shards. I do have a couple shards. Okay, we'll go for 3. If 3 doesn't work, 3rd time's the charm. If 3 doesn't work, no more. No more. It is tough because it's a strength roll for me. Last try. Okay, we walk away. We walk away. I will be back, Big Pillar. I will be back. What? This looks like the kind of rock you can stand on to gain attention. Yeah? You step up on the rock. Around you lies the vast chamber of roots and stone, of dwarf and primal forces pressing up against one another. One part struggle, one part harmonic symbiosis. This is the vessel in which the great bracken tree of Stolstad is nurtured. It's sometimes called the Ironwood. This well, it's beating hard. Also, you can absolutely make some noise in here. Try it. Don't make this about yourself. A rock like this is a keystone in a community, not a tool of the individual. It's a platform, a scene. Scenes are made for bringing attention to those who deserve it. Yell, I am the lord of this dwarf fortress. Woo! Your voice echoes out among the tangled roots. What are you doing? Since no one of importance heard you, you can make any statements you want. It literally doesn't matter. Unless you care about what the goblin thinks of you. I'm making a statement, Snell. Seems a bit imperialist and or colonialist, if you ask me. Yes, and? He groans. Go on. As ultimate god, king, wizard, arcanist, I will enact complete domination upon the coast. That, by its own nature, is sort of imperialist and colonialist, I think. You think? I think. You campaign tirelessly for the arcanist agenda. He clicks his tongue. Something about you standing up on that rock, sermonizing fascist talking points, almost makes me understand arcane-era populism. Or at the very least, it seems to give you some type of intra-generational flashback. So you don't support my campaign? I think I'll skip. The goblin looks around the pool, his face carrying an expression that's about to melt off his cheeks. Why am I standing here? What am I doing with my life? Can we go, please? Okay. Thank you. Great. Good times. Beholds you. I can't see. Yeah, I got nothing new for her. I think the flirting only helps if I avenge her, right? Otherwise, it is nothing. Where monsters? Okay, we've been there. I just want to go back up here and go further down, I think. Was this the snail, staircase? Yeah. Well. He'll be there for a bit. Okay, and that was the crypt there. I wish we could talk to the pillar. We open to this one-way door. This cube is still here. This all looks the same. The dude that was up here should be gone, right? Yeah, he's gone. Okay. I don't think there's anything for me in these corridors then. So I should use them just to get deeper. Oh. Oh. You can't just walk down. That's right. Shit. Well then. There's other stuff I could do. I guess. There sure is. We can talk to a tier again. Somewhere in the dungeons. I could look for the book. We still haven't found Lord Gorm. It looks like a lot of the stuff that we want is down below. We need to find a way down. I'm gonna go the monster route. I feel like there wasn't anything at the end here, but I need to look just to be sure. Oh man. I don't have the int for that. We'll come back when our int is higher. Okay, there was the roper up here that we killed. Which leads us to what? Oh, then it was this route through this. Oh, cred. Cred, where are you? Are you here? Hey, buddy. Oof. See anything new to say to me? Ooh, what's it like working for Viskin? Oh, I don't even say it to him. No, I say it. It says you? Maybe it means him. Maybe that's an error. Have you seen a man in yellow going past here? Cred has seen this, yes. Oh, you have? Yes. Cred saw a human in yellow go past. Cred meant to eat such fancy human, but this human was fast and turned invisible before Cred could approach. Huh. Cred did hear fancy yellow human speak to self while walking past. Humans said, "Where is this damn secret passage again?" Secret passage, where? Cred does not know. Are you lying to me? Cred does not need to lie. So he went into the dungeon. Fancy human came from southern caves, going into dungeon, yes. Alright, thanks for the info. How to get to the dungeon? They could have hired me to make that sound for this game. Okay, we've looped back. This is where that is. We did go up here before. Oh, it's a one-way door here. Secret passage, huh? And then down here is the cube. Can I do anything about the cube? I'm gonna stay in this just in case. You look over to a glowing torch deep inside the gelatinous cube. Huh. Doesn't it feel like that torch has something to do with this gelatinous cube? It does. Worth. It is drawn to it. Not sure what you'd do about it, though. If you'd be able to reach it, maybe to find out more. But that'd require you to, you know, go inside. Oh, unless I had Mage Hand. Did you get that torch, Snell? No, could you? No. For once, I agree. The goblin lets out a deep sigh and looks across the surface of the jelly monster. The cube's weird. They're usually way more aggressive. The fact that we can stand here no problem means something's way off. And I bet it's that torch. Can you use your magic to grab it? There are handfuls of spells that could work here. Protective shield if you wish to fight through the acid. Or Mage Hand, a possibility. If I could find Mage Hand, then maybe that'd work. If the gel would let it go through. Well, you'd have to find it then. I thought you clerics knew basic cantrips like that. I mean, we've even got some goblins who know it. It's not rare. Trembling. Anger. So I'm admitting to you that I, in fact, do not know this basic cantrip, but I also make it clear that I want to find it so we can proceed here. Yet you stand there complaining about it. I know. I should have it. I don't. The goblin is taken aback. Damn. I'm sorry, cleric. You made your point. He didn't mean to make you feel bad. No worries. I just got a little emotionally upset in a manly way. Right. Good. I do prefer manly expressions of emotion instead of manly expressions of violence. I think I like violence more. He lifts his chin. Anyway, he rubs his temples. For now, let's just not do anything rash. Can I actually reach the torch? The cube will let you walk into it, however. It will clamp onto you quickly. So you need to move as fast as you can before it decides to hold you tight. Yeah, no. We need Mage Hand for multiple things then. Mage Hand, Mage Hand. Okay, and then... If I go on this loop the other way... No, it was a dead end the other way. Okay, so I think the only direction I haven't gone then over there in all of this stuff is the cube. And I haven't been able to talk to this. Do I have any other strength items? Okay, the sword gives me 1. Resistance note gives me 1. The tower key gives me 1. I could pop those on and then try this again. Or just try it again because the DC isn't that high. Okay. Let's take this one off. Let's put the key on. Since it goes in that slot there. I don't want these that lower wisdom. Okay, I'll give it one more shot. Because I need to do something to get us more stuff happening down here. Okay, this is the same as before. I'm gonna try feeling it. It's so bad. My crystals of yore. My crystals. Perhaps I should try to find Mage Hand. Let me go talk to, like, a Tyr and Darrow and those folks. Oh no, wait, that's the other way. Oh god, what's the best way out of here? Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. This place is a maze. What the hell is this? What? I don't like its eyes. I'm talking to it. The door closes behind you. Your companion lets out an audible gulp. Sounds about. So let Shani Patyosan. Okay. Sorry? The words change tone and intensify, mimicking your own way of speech. 2 have stepped into the 5th chamber of trials. This will be your final and most mounting challenge yet, O champions of the host. If outside again you wish to see, answer me these questions 3. The answer of which I shall judge fairly upon thine soul. Who will take the first step? Damn it, why'd you have to pick the scary red light cow room? What happens if I say the wrong answer? You'll be cast into eternal peril. Do I have to answer all 5 questions correctly? 3 questions. 3 questions. 3. Okay, I got it. You have to answer all 3 questions correctly. Answer me questions 3. The answer of which I shall judge fairly upon thine soul. Wait, are you a sentient type of trial guardian, or are you more of the magic mouth type? Who will take the first step? The statue obviously has a magic mouth spell cast on it. It is programmed to react to certain types of inquiries in the speaker's original tongue. Do not think about it too much. Answering the questions in a straight manner will do just fine with this barbaric setup. I take the first step. Light lands upon you. First question. Get ready. What is your name? Whoa, deja vu. Not this again. Sorry, what? Question will not be repeated. What should I say? The goblin thinks about it for a second, then he whispers back. I don't think bovine folk are known for either trick questions or riddles, so... The light blinds you for a moment and you feel the chamber shake. What is your quest? To solve the mystery of the tea shop that blew up? Again, the eyes of the cow glare into a fiery beam. What is your greatest fear? To be abandoned? For a third time, you feel that rumble, along with the hot gaze of the Minotaur. Then turns to your companion. The chosen will be you. Snell, in response, gives off a shocked scoff. That's easy. You can sense the relief pass over him. Yeah, this was pretty stupid. All that build-up for nothing. At least the cows know how to put on a show. The goblin stands up straight, facing the light. Go ahead, Guardian. Ask your questions. What is your name? My name is Snell. He enunciates perfectly. The eyes of the statue grow stronger once more. What is your quest? You catch him glancing to the side for a second. My quest is... Stare at him. My quest is to serve Lady Sageleaf. Again, it rumbles, and you get to the crescendo of that final, third question. Nothing bad yet. Very nice. Snell looks confident. What is the scholarly definition of numinism? His face drops. Panic. What is the scholarly definition of numinism? That depends. Arcane era scholarly definition or divine era scholarly definition? If you'd gotten this question, you probably would have short-circuited the magic mouth. Arcane era? Numinism is the governmental rule of divine dictatorship. Quite terrible. Attempt to show Snell what numinism means. The goblin has his eyes fixed on you as you hold up your hands. Ooh. Pretend to act like a tyrannical magic man with a big stick, then pretend to use magic to mind control your followers, then pretend to show how to those followers slowly overcome you as a way better arcanists come into power through a fair system of meritocracy during the Arcane Era. Or pretend to pray, then pretend to be a big, strong earth, then pretend to show how people congregate into cultural units underneath God Kings during the Divine Era. Oh my god. I'm going with Arcane Era. His eyes are full of panic as you spend precious seconds waving your hands around. His panic overwhelms him. He is unable to begin to focus on you, to even begin to focus on your attempt to communicate. Unfortunately, he opens his mouth to speak, still staring at you dumbfounded. What the fuck are you doing? Oh. Beneath you, a sea of spikes. Oh. Scramble to grab anything. No, no, no. Microseconds, that's what you've got. But somehow you do manage to stretch out, sprawl out with your hands landing on rough stone and your feet. Well, let's just say you're in a bit of a shitty position right now. He's standing on us. Do not move. You want me to stay like this? Just a bit longer. The goblin attempts to take a step down your lower back. You feel Your feet slip an inch. Oh! Hold tighter. Shit. Your entire body is quaking. You cannot hold this for long. Okay, new plan. Cast Spider Climb. I don't have Spider Climb prepared. You don't have Spider Climb prepared. Why would I have a Spider Climb prepared? I don't know. Why would you? I actually can't think of a single useful situation for it. You did used to have Spider Climb in your spellbook before the river took your collection. Alas, you will have to do this with the brutish way. You're gonna die here. Hold out. Let him climb off. Wait, if you fail at holding on, won't that kill you right away? You will hold on. Oh god. Crab climb your way to safety with a lot of strength, or just hold out while you let Snell climb off. Okay, I'm gonna try. My rolls have been so shit today. Snell, climb off. Carefully. Right. Okay. Careful. He shifts his weight to one side. Your left foot slips. Careful. I'm trying. He takes another step. Your right hand loses grip. For one terrible moment, you feel yourself falling. Try to climb off. I got this. You don't. The goblin lunges for the edge as your body drops. Avoided exhaustion. Iron. Cold iron everywhere. You hit the spikes at an angle, your armor taking most of the impact. But not all. Cleric! Cough up blood. I'm okay. You then feel something pulling. I got you. Many agonizing seconds later, the goblin manages to fish you out with a combination of his sling, parts of his shirt, and creative profanity. Climb up on the side. The voice starts up again as you do. You have braved the pit of wrong answers. Breathe and stand. Wobbly, but firm. You stand. Look at you all typing 07. Doubters in shambles. Step forth and claim your prize. The plundered eye. I hate this place so much, your companion mutters to himself. Again, just to reiterate, Snell says across the gap, this place is somewhat dangerous. Divine rule. Numinism is when walking God's rule. Well, I don't know that. Why would I know that? It's basic history. The goblin gives you a frustrated but ultimately relieved sigh. The statue is now entirely silent. You hear an esoteric boom coming from the drawer between its legs. Strange exercise, but one you met well. To think of all the people who have met their end in a place like this, it is quite depressing. Awesome. Let's see what kind of bling that cow's hiding. Okay. Trade 1 strength for 1 int. Or, sorry, trade 1 int for 1 strength. And then trade a charisma and constitution for an int and a wisdom. Interesting. Oh, I still have this on. I like this for the advantage in esoteric events. But if I do this and then put this one on, I can pump my strength and even myself out a little more. I don't really care. I'll keep the int. No, that doesn't do anything. I already beheld him. Do you want to sleep in the tower with me? I'm good. A true statement. Such a goody gold grove. Is it because the tower's nasty or because you don't want to have a slumber party with me? He thinks about it for a second. And he says, 20% number 1, 80% number 2. That's how long you spend in the bathroom. That's how long I spend in the bathroom. The goblin stares at you, then laughs. Good one. Quick-witted for once. For once? Don't ruin the moment. But don't worry, I'm sure you'll enjoy that tower, as long as she isn't there. Kinda like her. Yeah, I could tell. Just be careful, is all I'm saying. Don't want someone, powerful like her on your bad side. Okay. Interestingly, I think it'd be fun to replay this and go solo. You see, there was that option to tell him to leave. Wait! Oh, we could go around to the other side of this. Oh my god, that must be it. Before you stands an iron door. At its center, a 5-pointed star has been etched deep into the metal. Esoteric energy emanates from the surface. The store is sealed with powerful magic. A faint hum vibrates through the iron. That's some fancy door. Any ideas, Snow? About your fancy mystery dungeon door? He crosses his arms and stares at it. Not really my area of expertise, cleric. But I'd bet you need some kind of password or a spell. Or, you know, he mimes breaking something with his fists. Subtle. Very subtle. But yeah, good work. Right, so smash it. Or perhaps think for a bit. Obviously, there should be a way to get inside. Oh, right, we did learn this from the petrified wizard. I want to try this just to try it. I don't think I will get it. A good roll, but not for this DC. You stare at the glowing star, trying to just dissect the spellcraft. The exact nature of the seal eludes you. Master Hagenshags, I will learn, say the words from the petrified wizard. The door swings open with a powerful boom. The sound echoes through the dungeon hallways. Everyone heard that. Inside, you see a faint light emanating from within. Soft, almost inviting. Or perhaps a trap. Probably a trap. One locked door usually isn't enough for those fucking wizard types. These. Well, after you, cleric. The goblin gestures toward the open doorway. Orpin? He's not going first, that's for sure. Beyond lies the unknown. What secrets did this wizard hide? Time to find out. Do a quick save. And I'm gonna cure my wounds. Rolled a 7, which is great. Not a mimic. Light is not real. How strange. A monster manual, but most pages are ruined. You can hear the wind outside. An illusion, surely. Many ruined magic scrolls. Only one appears intact. Dancing light! Oh. Oh, I wonder if I could use this on the slime. The cube. Oops. Strange box. Arcane music box. Each turns to make some screeching foul sound. Can't do anything beautiful, artistic, or functional with this. -2 charisma. Cool. Perfect item for me. Stack of cryptic books. A stack of books sits crooked on the floor, half buried under layers of dust. The blue light from windows appears to land upon the surface and stick, as if it is not real. You recognize the binding style. These are late arcane era. One tome is clearly arcane. The cover bears ward marks that make your eyes itch. Doesn't seem like there's any danger here, right now at least. Ooh, decipher the warded tome. I'll try it. We have +2. The wards do not recognize you. You push anyway, a scholar's arrogance. Try to close it. The book bites. Ah. Pain of the immaterial kind lances through your skull. For a split second, you perceive the color of your own name, the sound of the number 7, the weight of yesterday. Then it passes, leaving you nauseous and hollow. The tome's cover snaps shut. Covers? Snap shut. The wards glow smugly. Stagger back. Oof. One more. One, if it doesn't work, it's over. Oh. Time to jar. With advantage. Yeah, we were close. That must be the book, though. That's the thing. I feel like this is the book. I'll save this over 2 here. Because of where we are, location-wise, where we're like far west, which is where the professor was. He was in Waterlane, which feels like it's kind of far west on the map. And it says arcane, so I feel like the book you wanted me to get might be there. Not a mimic. You stare at the sign. Huh? Your companion joins in on the staring as well. Who put the sign here? An interesting question. There are many mysteries in the city below, including the shifting tunnels and strangely intense esoteric pockets. Normally, magic like this would be quite rare this close to the coast, but the city below is special. So this sign could very well be a manifestation of an esoteric event. In other words, the sign could very well be a natural phenomenon of yore. So I'm assuming the chest is a mimic then? The sign appears to point towards that, yes. However, this whole area is clearly esoteric in nature, so beware. Did one of your goblin buddies put this sign up? My goblin buddies. He does not enjoy the tone of that phrase. Yeah, you know, the gobros. The what now? The grub gabs. He stares at you. The gob buds? No, cleric. I can guarantee no one from the halfways put this sign up. Ooh, I could mentally touch the sign. Hold on. Let's use a little. Oh. Wow. Hold on. Hold on. What? Look at the sign. I've been doing that for a while now. What about it? Ask yourself one basic question. How is the sign attached to the wall? Well, obviously, it's the nail. Up there. Yes, but look at it. Oh, it's not. The nail is not attached to the wood, nor does it hang upon anything else apparent. Could it be attached at the back? That would be a strange way to hang a basic sign like this. More importantly, why would the rope still be erect in this fashion? It's as if someone attempted to create a facsimile of a hanging sign and did not think through all the logical steps involved with why each piece is assembled. So, what about it? It's suspicious. Yeah, that much was obvious from the start. What do I do about it? See those pebbles on the ground? Toss one of them at the sign. A basic test of corporeality. Toss a pebble at the sign. You grab a pebble off the floor and lightly toss it towards the sign, expecting it to bounce right off. It instead just stops. It gets stuck on the surface of the sign. Whoa. Whoa. That's, it's soft? The pebble stopped as if it hit a wall of soft, sticky honey. Huh? As you watch the pebble just sit there on the sign, you also see something emerging. An eye staring at you. Oh, is the sign the mimic? Ah. knew it. No, he didn't. Point at it and shout, "A mimic! A real-life mimic!" Righto! Hold on. It speaks in a harsh, sharp tone. So I was like taking in the art. It speaks. Meek the mimic appears their eyes upon me. Me who hide in plain sight. Interesting. There have been documentation of mimics bred for greater intelligence, but they're commonly seen as extinct in the current post-war era. You can talk? Talk and think and breathe and bite? I do. All time. Befriend. Alright then, it's time. Talk this bad boy over to your side. You can do it. I honestly did not expect you to talk. This is kind of throwing me off a little. Do not talk often, no, but you understand? Yes, I understand you. Understand, that is good. In colony, we speak good. Nice. Forward. Using mouth is not as speak good. The thing might be hideous, but it's not outwardly aggressive right now. If you want to reach out to it properly, try to mimic its speech pattern. Pun intended. Yes, this monster is not mindless. And while its intentions seem to stem from survival, that is not the most evil of leanings. Perhaps you can indeed hear it out. Can you trust a monster built to trick people to death? Punch in the central eye. Are you friend? Its eyes stare at you, unblinking, as its maw slowly opens. I am friend. Friend. Well then, time to talk. Look, the goblin says, turning away from the monster. I wouldn't trust the thing at the end of a 10-foot pole. However, if you can get some nice info out of it... He shrugs. Trust but verify, right? So... The mimic looks around. Mission! Wizard told to guard. Stash. Stash, huh? But room change place. Chamber shift. Time pass. So, guard Meek moves. Feeding, guarding. From people coming from not dungeon. Oh, the poor little guy's been stuck down here for a very long time. But Meek can talk. Talk a lot. Ask Meek. Oh my god. Your name is Meek? Meek, yes. That's a great name. Yes, yes. Must be lonely down here. Ah, not alone always. Colony is somewhere in past and west. Long time spent in colony. Most are very dumb in colony. They do not enjoy smart. They kick out, not allowed to smart. You were kicked out because you were too smart? The mimic clasps its many teeth together. It is curse. Smart curse. How strangely relatable. What do you know of this place? I know much, or... It shifts around a bit, swaying its gaze. I know danger and secret. The place is full of danger and secret. Master told much and shared little. But Meek knows. Meek knows. The mimic could be useful if it shared its secrets. At least if this master is, as you suspect, a wizard. How can you talk? Talk? Master made Meek talk. Master. Master Hagenshags. Hagenshags. It's one of those Arcanist families, right? Must be an old mimic. Indeed. They're supposed to be gone by now. The Hagenshags fell with their empire. The one this mimic speaks of would have to either be an imposter or a survivor. So you're guarding something? Yes, yes. Most stash is gone, lost, or master took. But some is here. Can I have it? No. Only master takes stash. Where's your master? Not here. No, not here. Master gone. Meek alone. Oh, you relate more to this monster right now than you do with most humans on the streets of Norvik. It's good wizard's pet. Every wizard requires a familiar. A bit too good. Where do you come from? Master, lair. It is not close. Place change, shift. Here is not where once was and will be. Suddenly a very complicated sentence. The mimic is a spontaneous poet. What am I supposed to do with this thing? Take the stash, of course. It might be unorthodox, but there's surely a way to convince this creature to help out. All monsters need to be defeated. However, this one does not seem so bad. You kissed its ass. I can ask it to join the party? Really? It would help to have more allies, if you can call a mimic ally. If you can get the creature to just hang about and share its info, then why not? A mimic would be a decent familiar. The goblin, however, has not proven to be a sufficient servant. Snell glances at you as you stand there in silence. Within the goblin's spirit, a subtle feeling that you're shit-talking him. Okay. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Please, God rolls. I'm gonna KMS. An idea. Okay, an idea. Yeah? To understand this mimic, you have to try to become the mimic. I might save scum this. I don't know if it actually changes the outcome, though. Because this game tends to not always do that. I don't know. We'll see. I understand. Attempt to blend into the environment. Look at it. Cleric? Your instinct is to curl up on the floor, naturally. Spend 10 minutes like this. As the time passes, you slowly rise again from new ball shape. Oh, you're done? You stretch your limbs, feeling the power of actually moving and not being still. This is idiotic. Steely man move? Alive? Yes, good. You now know a little more of what a mimic life is about. Mostly, it is feeling pain in your limbs upon a hard stone floor. Right. So, will this help? We'll see. It might, actually. Spending some time on the floor did allow you to think about the life of this mimic. But of course, you still need to... You gotta try again. Find one of those shards or something. They usually help. Those shards are esoterically aligned string warping artifacts. Yeah, whatever. Just use one. DC 0. DEHTT. Don't even have to try. The game's just giving it to you. That's so funny. I'll do it. I hope we actually get him, because he might just be like, no. Right. Well, this might seem pretty simple at this point. But you gotta convince this thing that you'll be its new master. Oh. And you do that by, well... Hey, Mimic. Meek? Yes. When was the last time you saw your master? Master? Yes. Master was... It fidgets on the wall. Master had a... Master say Meek should then... Meek not see Master for long. Long. There we go. You mean those gears start turning. Now hit him with the big one. Your old master is gone, Meek. Oh, but... No buts. He's gone. But it's okay. I will be your new master. Oh! The mimic's eye goes wide, revealing a horrifying mess of shiny pupils. Then it begins to shake. No, that does not. Does not. What? Only master can order. Old order, still fresh order. Maybe ask, what exactly was the order? Order? Master talk. Guard Meek, guard stash. Guard Meek only, order by master. Well, there's a loophole there. Your guard Meek? Guard is title. Title is guard. Oh. So if you stop having that title, then you're no longer guard Meek, and thus you don't need to follow the orders. Meek stares at you for a moment. It turns to your companion as well. Sounds logical to me. Yes, that work. But Meek is guard Meek. Not anymore. By the power granted to me by the city of Norvik, I now officially deputize you, Mr. Meek. What? The mimic jolts around on the wall. Your new title is now Deputy Meek. Congratulations. Want to join the party? A horrid screeching sound is emitted from the monster as it leaps toward you. Shit. The goblin yells and steps back. Embrace it. Within a moment, you realize that the mimic has left its pose and turned into a cloak. Cloak, I am. If danger, I tell. Familiars joined your party. Key familiars equipped to gain bonuses and dice checks. Deputy Meek at service. Are you sure that's safe? What's the worst that could happen, Snell? It'll be useful to have a little guy around. Yes, little guy. Fuck it. I'm sure it'll be fine. Let's keep the mimic around. Why not? He mutters to himself. I can write a book on famous last words after this whole thing. Let's go. Meek. Where do I put him? He's a trinket. Okay, he goes in one of these. Let's put him here. Let's keep the I like this. Advantage against bureaucrats and advantage in esoteric events. This one, I just used this and picked that lock, so I assume that's the main use of it, or one of them. And now... I'm tempted to pump into int or charisma a bit. I'm okay with strength being shit. Kind of thinking int. Because having information has been really good to kind of pair with the wisdom and dexterity. But I do have items to help my int. But if I just pump it a little bit naturally, then I'm going crazy with it. I feel like it's good to focus on just a few things instead of trying to even out too much. I did pull this up a little, but I'm going to go with int. I think it also works because we're a genius without peers. Because we're going for that political alignment as well. And I have a 3rd level spell slot. Let's go. Is there anything else here? No. Okay, I guess I can just open this then. Okay, fine. It's actually safe. There's that. Grounds, potion, incense. A spell. Knock. Does it work the same way, I think? Yep. Yep. Okay. Okay. If the object has multiple locks, only one of them is unlocked. I wonder if that will come into play here at all. I kind of want to try this again. What do you mean by big hurt, Meek? Old Master has ward on all. Spellcast delayed spell. Hurt big if not careful. And just leave them alone. The knowledge will be worth it, surely. Oh, Meek helps. He does bring it down a little. But I only have 2 shards. So I'll keep this in mind. Oh, look at Meek's tongue. Does Meek say anything about this? What's up with that? It's a magic item. Torch built to burn forever. Okay, we gotta keep Meek. Hold on, let me make sure we are saved here. Oh, Meek could have been helpful in here, probably. That's fine. Alright, Meek. You know anything about this guy? It's opened so many more options, potentially. Nothing. Okay. I love apples. Let's take these. I wonder if I could use knock to open the one-way door. It's magical though, so I don't know if it will be able to do it. This was the ruin that I found, or the thingy that I found and told what's his face. Oh, I never investigated this. Okay, I'm gonna try it. Oh, looks like Meek does a -1 on like all DCs, I think. That's crazy. Your gloved hand glides over the markings on the front of the shrine. There's something there, inside the stone, and it's text. Tracing your fingers, you realize something is written faintly, scrubbed down over centuries into the surface of the shrine. It says El Oho Roho Viculatus Logros. The red eye... something. You take a step back and mumble it to yourself. It means the red eye... watches over you. Oh, okay. Probably. They wouldn't just write that on a shrine for no reason. He shrugs. They honestly might have, but who knows? Not Spanish. Well, yeah, I mean... this... it's kind of, but not really, but it's 90% Spanish. You glance upwards at the lion's head. No, it's Spanish. No, I'm clearly the expert. It's only 1% Spanish. Because I said so. The eye socket. Perfectly sized for a gemstone. This is obviously a secret you would be able to trigger in case you insert the correct gemstone. Oh, I have it! Isn't that the thing I just got from the quiz? The stony lion's head glares at you with that one sunken dark eye. Put in a jacinth gemstone. Carefully, you guide the jacinth into the perfectly sized eye hole. Once close enough, like a magnet, it gets sucked in. Then you hear a strange noise in the walls. Oh, gods! The goblin gasps for air, unable to speak. Look to your left. Oh. Begin to shake due to a slightly delayed adrenaline kick. You would have died had the final blade not been blocked by those vines. And Snell would have died if he had stood just a bit further back, or to the left. Fuck. The goblin is actually shaking. Nice dodge, Snell. He didn't even move. We were so close to just, like, dying. Look at these things. You'd be cut in half. Are you aware of that, cleric? No. Real men don't process emotions like that. I see. You're a stoic, then. Of course. Feelings don't faze me. I feel a bit faint. You sure? You look a little... With a brash crack, the front of the shrine pops out of place. The goblin jumps. A deep rumbling voice echoes through the chamber as a lion's skull begins floating out of the shrine, along with a ghostly halberd. El Vigilante Rojo de Crin Blanca Castigara tu... Oh! Then the skull falls to the ground. Is that it? I'm not sure. He glances around, scanning for threats. That was a ghostly apparition left to guard this shrine. There we go. The undead spirit of this heretical temple has been vanquished. Feel proud. Yeah. Great job. The skull is on the ground before you. And that halberd is just floating there, all ghost-like. Be careful. Loot them. Come on. Guess I'll check them out. Spectral halberd. Okay. Lion's skull. You kneel down and look at the cat-like skull on the ground. Hello? No response. What's your thought on this, Snell? My head's as empty as that skull, cleric. Can we go? Okay. I'll leave you to it. Pat the top of the skull. Okay. Well, we did everything here then. I want knock. For the duration, resistance to all damage halved. For the duration, any loss of hit points is reduced by 1. I think Shield of Faith over Bark Skin. Oh no, it doesn't matter. I have enough slots. That's right, because I leveled. Well, it don't matter. Okay, well, we're good there. And this was nothing, right? Yeah. Yeah, we just can't go that way, I guess. Okay, well, I'm glad we went back this way. But I still don't see anything that indicates where a man dressed in yellow would have gone. So hopefully having Meek lets me see a little more. Okay. But I need to find a way to go deeper. Wasn't this one the wizard? Wasn't this one where we learned the thing? I was wondering if that was actually the Mimic's master or maybe not. I don't know. I still need to learn Mage Hand. If I can find Mage Hand, that would be really good. Should be nothing else in the crypt. I assume this is not reset. Let me check. Yeah, no. Try later. Okay, it's getting to be later night. I want to talk to Tyr. My wife. I want to talk to her, and we could maybe do more of the Free Strider pamphlets. That's still a quest that's hanging, but I know shouldn't be too bad for me to do. So this should bring us to Viskin. Are you able to buy a spell from the place that made your book? No, I could buy one separate book instead of asking for mine back. They gave me that option, but I wanted mine because I picked like a druidy thing on purpose. Let's see, what do I have? Strength and int? This will be int and wisdom. Oh, that would... Holy. I could have +7 on wisdom. Or I could have -1 instead of -2 on strength. I think the -1 is safer. Let's see if it's been a little bit. Oh. Nope. Anything new with this guy yet? Here, hand him an Aoife. Here's a thing from the Free Striders. Oh. He lifts it slightly, reading the text. An economic accord. How quaint. You should consider signing it. I know very well about the free way of business in the East. I have no interest in dealing with these methods, unless I'm forced to in the event of a governmental shift, which, considering you have been instructed in handing these out, is most likely exactly what is going to happen. Thus, I will indeed most likely sign this in the end. He's being a bitch about it. Who cares? Future is coming, old man. You don't sound too happy about that. Does he ever sound happy? It is the way of things. I much prefer the rule of Earth. This so-called meritocratic capitalistic society of reeds is based on foul bureaucracy, nothing else. I will manage it well, but in principle, I will stew in resentment. Let's get on his good side. Yeah, same. Give him a fist bump. He meets your fist in the air. Then he places the paper on his desk, among many other documents. Is that all? I found this mimic in the city below. A mimic, he repeats. Oh. The creature peeks out of his folds. Scary thing. Master beware on this one. How very, very quaint. You pick up familiars at an alarming rate, cleric. I'm certain you will handle that monstrosity well. I hope you're not implying I'm also familiar. The pale man does not respond to the comment. Nice. Does he have anything new? I'm sure I'd check in, because if I go, oh, this person's done it and never come back, I might miss something. Questions? No, that's fine. Okay. Was that talk to women potion of one-time use? Oh, that, it gave me a permanent +1 to charisma. So yes, but in a good way. Wait. This is a nighttime only thing. We should do this. Do this last little bit here. Save it since we ran here. Oh, look who it is. I see a tiny man sitting on a tall chair, a glass of something strong clasped in his hands. Ah, my dear officer of law, he slurs with a mischievous glint in his eyes. Aye, not glint. Pain. He clumsily nods alongside almost spilling his drink. Citizen. That is who I am. A mere part of the spirit, the national identity of Norfolk. He leans a bit too far to the left and almost falls off his chair. Anyway, come. Partake in the nectar of the gods, or at least what passes for in this establishment. So, we find ourselves on the precipice of this grand experiment of democracy. He takes a big sip. What will you vote for, officer? Don't get him started, the goblin mumbles behind you. That's usually my line. Oh, I took it from you, did I? You can have it back soon enough. I'm not sure yet. Uncertainty, the only rational response in such irrational times. In a world of shifting sands, to admit that one does not know is the beginning of true wisdom. But for the sake of argument, what would you choose if you stood at the ballot boxes at this very moment? I'm apolitical, so I don't really deal with that political stuff. He looks at you in silence. Then he slams his glass into the table, spilling most of it. To be apolitical in times of moral crisis is a stance as potent as any, and as political as any other. It's like standing in the middle of a burning library and saying, I am not interested in books. Your apathy, intentional or not, serves the status quo, the very powers that be. To be apolitical is to let the tides of victory, I can't read, to let the tides of history wash over you, while pretending you're not getting wet. In a world torn between tyrants, traitors, and toilers, to choose no side is to side with the strongest current. And beware, my friend, for the strongest current is not always the noblest. He leans back, his voice a mixture of frustration and fervor. Inaction is inaction. Silence is statement. By choosing to be apolitical, you cast a vote for the world as it is, not as it could be. My most hated type of person. Because it has nothing to do with what they say and the content of what they say. It is simply that most people say I'm apolitical to get out of it because they don't want to talk about their actual leanings, not because they don't actually have leanings, but then that person couldn't take it. And they're like, no, you have to tell everyone what you want, though. So I get what he's saying if the person actually meant what they said, but the problem is most people, when they say they're apolitical, don't really mean it. They do actually lean. They just don't want to talk about it. They want to keep that private, and they're not respecting your privacy, but they also don't get that you're trying to keep it private. Ugh. It's the worst. Not saying anything about what he's saying is wrong or right or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just, people not recognizing that you're looking for that cop-out because you like privacy is always frustrating. And so on, he mutters, while taking a sip of his half-spilled drink. This gnome sure can talk. He is very inebriated. Cats are having fun. But now, since you are the carrier of law in this here city, a good question would be, what is law? Oh, gods. To carry such a burden of holding the law, would it not be fair to ask what it is? Think about it. Your answer will matter. Your choice could change the world, good knight of earth. Cleric of the bourgeoisie, This is my time. Law is whatever the hells I say it is. The gnome nods. In fact, he nods so hard his face hits the table. You hear him snoring softly. Party's over. He sighs. Thank the gods. Leave the gnome in his stupor. Can I talk to this guy yet? Tries to behold him even better. Oh, I already did. I'll save after every conversation just in case. Hey. The scent of smoke fills your helmet as you approach the hooded goblin. He takes a drag from the pipe, his rough face illuminated. He is glaring at you. He wouldn't want to be recognized, so I'm going to annoy him. Didn't I see you at Pillar Crossing? The hooded goblin does not reply at first. Then he just looks to Snell with a foul frown. I see you're getting more cran by the day. Fuck you. Kick him lightly. Which tribe do you belong to? You hear him clear his throat slowly. I suggest bothering someone else. Human. You know this guy, Snell? Glass him is one of the options. You know this guy, Snell? Sure. That's Raz. Ignore him. He's not interesting. The hooded goblin lets out a cloud of smoke. Listen to your pet, cleric. What was that? Did you say something, Raz? Pure rage is building in your companion. Mm-hmm. He only scoffs at Snell's question. I feel like there's some tension here. Both of them just quietly glare at each other. What do you know about the tea shop? He doesn't know shit. The hooded goblin laughs. Need help, huh? Figured. Yeah, it's going really poorly so far. I'll just be honest with him. Underneath his hood, you see a smirk spread on the maw of the goblin. Good to hear. Now fuck off. Your companion turns to you and mutters. God, he's such a fucking cunt. So what are you voting in the election? None of your fucking business, human. Okay. Looks sad. Yeah, know your place. You hear him chuckle. Fucking asshole. So who do you work for? Why would I tell you? Why wouldn't you? Is it embarrassing? Do you work for, like, Viskin or something? The goblin freezes. No. What? He does. Wow. Yeah. You didn't even need to pick up on anything there. Fuck off, human. We'll just go for now. Maybe bar fight after this, though. Maybe a little bar fight later. Simmy and the boys. Hello. There's Alphos. Our orc girlfriend is here. You approach the dwarves as they argue through heavily slurred words. If Borgelic pie... He hits his cup while gesticulating wildly. The white wine spills out over the table. Foreman Alphos, Simi tells his boss while glancing up at you. Perhaps it is time... Listen in. It's an absolute... full... something tragedy. I'm trying to, some of this could be a little translatable to English because of similar roots. He slams his fist into the table. I feel like if I heard someone say this aloud, it would be easier to understand than trying to read it. Right? I feel like this is one of those languages, kind of like, when you hear people speaking Welsh, where if you try to read it, you're like, I don't know what the fuck this is. But the moment they start speaking it, you're like, oh. Or even Dutch. When people speak Dutch, it has so many similarities with English that you can kind of understand a lot of the words that they say. Alphos. Oh, I'm looking at it. Alphos. He points to you. Alphos turns around. Oh. He laughs. Well, what are you gonna do, Mr. Cityman? Cast mass torsion on us? No. DC 22? Wait, if I had enough con, could I cast mass torsion on them? Simi's face grows completely pale, along with each of the other male dwarves around the table. Well? The female dwarf at the far end of the table calmly sips her wine cup. She's ignoring this whole event. Alphos is very, very drunk. He's got that false confidence glowing through his sweaty forehead. He puffs up his chest and gets up from his seat. Mass torsion is a war crime. Could be suitable here, though. Raise your hand if you insist. If you insist. Simi gets up from his chair so fast it falls to the ground. I think it's time for us to go now, Alphos. Why can't a foreman let loose a little? It's, not that late. He looks very, very tired all of a sudden. Yeah, I'll step away and let Simi lead him away. Simi steps in and grabs his boss. Sorry, cleric. I'll get it back to the apartment. I mean, headquarters. What? Is it time already? Alpha seems to relax once his brother steadies him by the arm. As they stumble away, you hear him mutter. Asgal would be proud of you, Simi. Good worker, that's what you are. Good handling of that, cleric. The rest of the dwarves keep drinking, not really reacting much to their foreman's outburst. Must be a common occurrence. Well then. Well then. Okay. Last thing I want to do is just talk to this because I never have. Let's see if we can get DC 20. Oh, I don't know. Let's see. Ooh. The Gyno Sphinx. Oh, yeah. She's. We can tell she's not being exploited. None of these people have power over her, but she cannot leave this. So for some reason, she's stuck to the vault. Resentment. Anyone sane with even a sliver of mortal understanding would feel resentment after being stuck in one spot for millennia. Olzus, this oh-so-powerful creature, feels a hint of resentment towards her masters. Perhaps that is why she entertains this fleeting moment. Okay. Hi. A lull falls out of the ambient cheer. Just a beat of uncertainty as this cleric steps before the tavern's singular attraction. This happens all the time. Visitors come to gawk and stare, some brave ones to speak with her. Look up at her. Towering. You stare at this somewhat feline creature up on the stage, a living myth, currently taking a swig out of a barrel, currently not paying you any mind. A scent of cheap wine lingers in the air along with an esoteric sensation. A Gyno Sphinx is not to be trifled with. Her physical characteristics are enough to crush everything that is you. Oh my god, feminine force capable of seeping through time and space. Jesus. However, she will not have to raise a paw, for her magical prowess could exile you from yours realm in an instant. Tread carefully. Your legs tremble. Give her a deep bow and don't say anything. Good. Treat her like a cat. Let her speak first. The Sphinx looks down at you. Meeting her glowing blue gaze makes you feel like you're falling. Far, far below the world. There are arrows of wisdom behind those eyes. Her expression turns dark. Dark tidings bring you to the hearth, she speaks, low and rolling. You see a hint of chaos in her movements, unfocused. You'd expect her to act a bit drunker, considering the empty barrels to her side. Then again, who knows how well a sphinx holds her liquor? A helmed dog, dragging its leash around the vestiges of yore. She extends a claw, thick as your arm, and pokes you in the stomach. Woof. Your scarf opens its mouth and nibbles in the direction of the claw. Olzis does not seem to mind the mimic. We can just say woof back. Serator, that's rude. That's ridiculous. Dogs don't wear helmets. I'm going with one. That's ridiculous. Dogs don't wear helmets. She lets out a deep breath. It smells like an old basement full of booze. Nor do free men. What? That does not make any sense. She is drunk. Could be a riddle. She takes another sip from her barrel, not looking at you. Watch yourself, cleric, he whispers to you. Olzis isn't one for idle chit-chat. You know the Sphinx? He shakes his head. Every night there's a drunk jackass that asks for a riddle. She usually doesn't hurt them. Oh, a riddle. It's fine, Snell. I can handle this, Creed. I'll just say I'll be careful then. Okay. I wish to prove myself worthy, Great Sphinx. Worthy, little one? Worthy how? Never mind. I have some questions, though. Then ask, little one. See if you can spark my interest. Do you give out riddles? Certainly. Are you ready? Rhetorical. Just wait. She finishes the last bit out of her barrel and puts it down with a slam. Then the Sphinx leans in, hissing. Once I had the sun's favor, my creed cling close to the wall. Cling close to the wall. Matured in shadows, I've witnessed empires rise and fall. Once left in silence, now the life of the ball. She raises her paw and gestures to the open chamber. Yet I remain a draught of remembrance. I guess it depends on the usage. A history's thrall. What am I? Easy. A lovely poem about a life's journey. How time changes all, even the simplest grape. Your companion smirks and gives a little chuckle. He knows. What do you think, Snell? Sphinx turns to Snell with a frown. Oh, this seems like a personal riddle for you, not me. So I'm just gonna watch, alright? She nods. How many guesses do I get? Hopefully none, but you're allotted one answer. What do I get if I get it right? The Sphinx shrugs, then gives you a cold smile. Satisfaction. Is this a trick question sort of deal? No, just a normal riddle. Can I think about this for a bit? No, answer now or never. What happens if I get it wrong? She squints at you and raises her chin. Same as all those who wander these halls. You lose everything. Eventually. There's no threat here. Okay, I'll make a guess. You focus your mind to come up with something. Anything that could be the answer to the riddle. Something old and time-worn. That was once in the light, but lived in shadows for a long time before it became popular again. What could it be? You only get one shot, so make it count. What was the riddle again? Hold on. I don't know. I don't like riddles that much. I think it could be the moon or I hate that I have to scroll up for this. Maybe music. Wait. I think music would be a good one. As well. The Mooner music. I don't know. They might all be wrong. I'm gonna pick music. The Sphinx gives you a frown. No, that is wrong. What? Why? Because it is wrong. Very wrong, in fact. There's no way you could argue it is correct in any coherent fashion. Watch me. I refuse. She sighs. Although, I suppose... Yes? She gives you a strange look. Kind that says, I can make use of this fool. Are you interested in a quest, little one? Yes, yes, yes. Good. Then you may have another chance to prove yourself. She gives you a serious expression. Accepting a divine quest from a sphinx is no trifling matter, mortal. In fact, a few would survive such an ordeal. A quest? Indeed. Behind me stands a vault. It opens only to those worthy. She leans her massive head downwards, close enough for you to smell the wine breath. To prove worthy, you must solve my most ancient of riddles. So old, it was handed to me when I first stepped inside this chamber, millennia past. I am pretty great at questing. I'm sure you are, little one. Your companion whispers to you, you're going on an epic Sphinx quest now? Sure, why not? Not like we're on a job or anything. This is important, Snell. Maybe to you. No, really, it's very important to the job, too. Ah, convince me. It could grant me esoteric knowledge, or like the tea shop? Fair enough. Look, I won't stand in the way. Just don't waste too much time on it, okay? The Sphinx stares at your companion. A hero must face much adversity during his quest. She laughs quietly to herself and takes a swig of wine. So what exactly is the Sphinx quest? This is a riddle, the answer of which is not uttered in words, but revealed by action. She goes quiet and closes her eyes. Just listen. Found within the arcane flare. Twin tongues of flame that scorch the air. Tongues? Okay. She takes a breath, revealing a wicked grin. Burrowed deep within the earth. A primal string to show your worth. Then she leans in, almost whispering those final words. Folk and gods in thronging herds. A man divine alone howls his words. That is intensely vague and cryptic. Oh my god. What if it's me going alone down to that little stage that I stood on? Near the halfling, not the halfling. The what's it? And I scream shit. It's probably deeper down. That's very vague. The answer is not something you can speak. She uses a massive claw to grab something from her pile of stuff and tosses it to you. Tavern key. Once you understand this riddle, return here. You can only solve it during daytime, alone. Wouldn't want anyone else accidentally figuring out this riddle, would we? She glances at your goblin companion. The goblin groans. I am not interrupting the job for that. Do in the morning or something, before you pick me up. The Sphinx chuckles. I never sleep, so you can show up any time after sunrise and before the tavern opens. What have you gotten yourself into? Sounds like this could lead to one hell of a treasure. We can flirt with her. Okay, I think what I'll do is next time we'll start with doing all the extra dialogue with her now that we have the riddle. Then we can rizz up the Sphinx, but that's 3.5 hours, I think. That is more than plenty. More than plenty. All right. Sounds good. Yes, Geega, it does. Cool. Cool. Okay. I'm gonna pick somebody and read them, and you're gonna watch. Or not. I don't care. Whatever you feel like doing. Whatever you want to do. You know what, let's read Cora. Cora, she was with me in the Blood Church. Church of the Blood God. She's playing Elden Ring. I'll go raid Cora. Good game. Love this game. We'll play it more. Don't know when. That's all. Plan for tomorrow, boss? IDK. Something. Probably. Do I have anything on my calendar? No, I don't. I have absolutely nothing written on my calendar for tomorrow. Yeah, Crimson Desert does come out. I mean, I have interest in it, but I have no idea what it is. Because everything about it just looks cool. And then that's kind of like... That's all I got from it. You know what I mean? It's some solo something. I don't know. I'm down to play it. Maybe we'll try it. Why not? I don't know. I'll definitely try it at some point. Maybe I'll try it on stream. I'll see what chat thinks tomorrow. Why not? Anyway, that's all. Goodbye. Goodbye.